Halstead Telephone Company and R&J Broadcasting Incorporated is proud to present to you this broadcast on yourliveevent.com.
All right, welcome everybody here to Lisbon, North Dakota. We're here for North Dakota Class B Boys Wrestling this evening from Lisbon High School with the Lisbon Broncos taking on the Oaks Tornadoes in a Southeast Sub-Region duel. This duel will have implications later on in the season for that Southeast Sub-Region duel tournament coming up in February. So stick around right here for that North Dakota Class B Wrestling, Lisbon Broncos versus the Oaks Tornadoes. That's right here on yourliveevent.com. But before we get into boys wrestling, we're going to talk a little bit of girls wrestling with the head coach of the Lisbon Broncos, head coach Jacob Revere, as the Lisbon girls wrestling program hosts a dual tournament this coming weekend, Friday and Saturday. So we're just going to preview that a little bit with Coach Revere and then get into our duel this evening between the Lisbon Broncos and the Oaks Tornadoes. That's just ahead on yourliveevent.com.
What if the point of banking wasn't to bank at all, but to put your ideas to work? What if your bank asked, what if, a little more? Well, what if we told you we do? We're American Bank and Trust, where what if meets why not? If you're ready to change what you get out of banking, start a relationship with us. What if you made the move today?
Winter is coming. Are you ready? At Agassi Sales, we'll help you build the snow removal fleet you need now. With Hyundai Construction Equipment Snow Lease Program, you'll get flexible financing, low monthly rates, and even the option of 6 months on, 6 months off. Plus, every machine is backed by our certified service department. Call Agassi Sales at 888-836-4029 or visit agassisales.com. Agassi Sales, your partner for power and reliability.
What if we said a bank isn't a place to lock up money? It's a place to set it free. What if the point of banking wasn't to bank at all, but to put your ideas to work? What if your bank asked, what if, a little more? Well, what if we told you we do? We're American Bank and Trust, where what if meets why not? If you're ready to change what you get out of banking, start a relationship with us. What if you made the move today?
All right, welcome back here. This is yourliveevent.com as we're back to the Lisbon High School Gymnasium for North Dakota High School Boys Wrestling. But before we get started with the boys wrestling this evening, we're going to go ahead and we're going to preview the Lisbon Girls Dual Tournament. That starts tomorrow afternoon here in the Lisbon High School Gymnasium, then over in the Armory. And I have the head coach for the Lisbon Broncos here, head coach Jacob Revere. So, Coach Revere, just kind of bring us into, I guess, how the Bronco girls wrestling team finished out last season and how you guys are doing the beginning of this season, and then just maybe give us a little bit of a preview going into tomorrow and Saturday.
Yeah, last year we finished the year out pretty strong. We qualified for the state dual tournament for the first time in program history, and we ended up taking 7th place, beating South Border for that 7th place match there last year, and the team's looking pretty solid this year. This will be our first official competition of the year, so probably not quite in the February shape condition yet, but overall we should shake out pretty well over these next couple days here.
Yeah, and then maybe just talk to us about the importance of having a dual tournament. You guys did it last year, and it seemed to be a very good, successful tournament that you guys put on over the Christmas holidays, and you decided to bring that back again this year. And it's just kind of, I guess, one of those things that Lisbon has done well in the past is host dual tournaments. So maybe just kind of get us into this dual tournament format and how it works here.
So we've got 8 teams coming in this year. We had 7 last year. When with the, I guess, medium number of teams, we're doing round robin. So each team that's there should get 6 or 7 duels in over the two days here. And I guess the idea for the dual tournament is duels are so much more digestible for wrestling. It's a better product for the fans, a better way to continue to grow the sport, especially on the girls side of things. For example, we got Oaks and Northern Cass coming here tomorrow, and they were teams that had 2 or 3-ish girls last year, and they're going to be pretty close to full teams this year. So that's really great to see other programs starting to grow and more girls go out for the sport.
Yeah, and just you talked a little bit about the difference between maybe a regular individual tournament and then a dual tournament as a more of a team type atmosphere. where you know, you have your whole team around the mat, you know, for both sides, and the focus is just on that one individual mat. So how do the girls respond to that type of format?
They really enjoy it. They get really excited and really get into the duels, their teammates' matches versus the individual tournament. They might be every half hour, 45 minutes until someone's wrestling, so a lot more downtime in the individual side.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're just going to have to step away here for a minute, and then we'll come back here. This is Brent Dick along with our head coach of the Lisbon girls program, Coach Jake Revere. We're going to step away for 30 seconds.
At Enbridge, we're focused on relationships. 23 Canadian First Nation and Métis communities now own an equity stake in Enbridge Athabasca Pipelines. In Minnesota, Enbridge has spent $450 million and counting, with Native-owned companies and in wages to tribal members working on Line 3. Every day brings new collaborations, partnerships, and possibilities. Learn more at Enbridge.com.
When you choose Farmers Union Insurance, you're backed by an insurance policy provider that meets your specific requirements. At Farmers Union Insurance Gullison Olson Agency, they offer reliable insurance policies from homeowners, farm and ranch, contractors, small businesses, and more. Let Lance, Shelby, and the staff at Gullison Olson Agency take care of you today. For more information, stop into their office on Main Street in Lisbon for Farmers Union Insurance Gullison Olson Agency.
All right, welcome back here to the Lisbon High School Gymnasium for tonight's boys wrestling duel between the Lisbon Broncos, Oaks Tornadoes. We're starting off this evening talking about some girls wrestling. That's coming up inside Lisbon High School Gymnasium over in the Armory on Friday and Saturday. Talking to head coach of Lisbon Broncos girls, Coach Jake Revere. And we just mentioned or just talked a little bit about how the girls kind of respond to the dual tournament atmosphere, and you know, maybe a little bit more of a preference for that tournament format as opposed to an individual tournament. And maybe, I guess, just kind of close things out. Do you have any last words or parting thoughts here before we cut away and head into the boys' duel?
Just looking forward to a couple good days of good wrestling. Again, we got 8 teams coming in this year. 4 of them were at the state dual tournament for North Dakota last year. So it should be a really good couple days of wrestling here. Hopefully we can kind of see where we're at for the year, get out of the event healthy, and can continue to get better for the rest of the season.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you're looking for some local wrestling or some wrestling this weekend, come on, stop down here to Lisbon High School Gymnasium, support this girls wrestling program, and look for some good wrestling here in Lisbon, North Dakota. So we're going to step away, take a 30-second timeout, and come back for some preliminary matches, and then our pregame show here on yourliveevent.com.
Public School District ensures that all students will learn, experience success, and be good students from elementary through high school. The school staff and community takes great pride in providing meaningful, innovative opportunities for students who continue to maintain ACT scores above state and national averages. Watch your kids continue to grow within the Lisbon Public School District, from the playing surface to the classroom. For more information, go online to lisbon.k12.nd.us.
While medicine's greatest advancements look like the latest sci-fi, one of our most powerful tools is far more simple, more human. It's a calling to connect with purpose. That's how we're evolving healthcare, by treating people, not just patients, with innovations that amplify healing and lead to more personalized care, guided by the belief we all hold the power to heal.
All right, welcome back here to Lisbon High School Gymnasium. We'll get this camera center back on the mat a little bit down here as we just finished up with our coach's interview that was with the girls head coach of Lisbon Broncos, Coach Jake Revere. So we previewed the girls dual tournament coming up on Friday and Saturday here from the Lisbon High School Gymnasium, and then over in the Armory as your prelim match out there is, looks like Zach Ward out there. I'll run down, I'll just leave the camera on the mat, and I'm going to run down and see if I can get a copy of our prelim matches and then our lineups, and continue on with the prelims, and then get into our pre-duel show here on yourliveevent.com. All right, at the end of that match, prelim match, that is Hyatt Ursink over Loden Shefke. That was a 13-5 decision here in our prelim matches. We do have a number of prelims. We have 14 or 15 prelim matches, looks like we have coming up. So we've had 2 down, well, 13 to go. And this looks like Reese Klein of Oaks and Cam Rondesvet of Lisbon. So Klein and Rondesvet working on a collar tie with a snap down. And drags him down to the mat there. Reese Klein locks up on a leg. Rondesvet goes to the crossface. And working the back ankle, did a good job isolating the ankle in the back. Gets around behind for 3-point takedown. So now Rondesvet's up 3-0 with the takedown. Just the first period, 49 seconds remaining in the first period. As Rondesvet in working on the top. Keeps hold of that back ankle, trying to run a crossface. Hit a hard crossface, goes to the near ankle, and breaks Klein down. Breaks him down flat on the mat. Still working now on the far ankle. About 15 seconds remaining in this first period. Rondesvet from Lisbon in the white singlet with the red trim has a 3-0 lead. He's in the top position, and we have some blood time out there. So we're going to go ahead and step away and take a 30-second timeout as we're in our prelim matches here for tonight's boys wrestling duel between the Lisbon Broncos and the Oaks Tornadoes.
Running a business is tough, but your accounting doesn't have to be. Let Olson Accounting check all the boxes. From taxes, payroll, business services, and professionalized financial guidance, all tailored to fit your requests. Whether you're a small business owner or just need help at tax time, trust Olson Accounting for professional, reliable service every time. Visit colsoncpa.com or call 701-683-2700. Olson Accounting of Lisbon.
For trusted news, weather, and sports from your community, look to R&J Broadcasting Incorporated, KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ Radio, and rjbroadcasting.com. Hear local voices from local radio with news and information from the area. Your information stations, KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ Radio, and rjbroadcasting.com. Local voices from local radio.
All right, welcome back. Blood time over, and the final 8 seconds tick off, and choice here and a stalwarting issued by the referee out there, Gabe Lyons. Gabe, assistant referee, getting the prelim experience out here, working with Scott Carblum, the head official for tonight's duel. Minute 30 on the clock to start the second period. Camden Rondesvet in the top position. He currently leads Reese Klein by a score of 3-0. As we did open up this broadcast, we were able to get head coach of the Lisbon Bronco girls wrestling team up here, Coach Jacob Revere, and we just tried to preview the girls wrestling team a little bit in their upcoming dual tournament this weekend on Friday and Saturday. So you can go ahead and listen to that interview. Just rewind the tape a little bit, or stay with us for this prelim match. Cam Rondesvet warned again. Now it's a 3-1 score, an escape issued here to Reese Klein. So Klein with the escape. Under a minute remaining. Rondesvet goes to work trying to isolate the wrist on the far side. Hard collar by Klein, working the elbow. Looks like he's trying to hit a little throw by. He's kind of has that over the top position of the elbow with the hand and goes the opposite way with it. In a little tussle, wrestlers go out. Rondesvet pushes off. And looks like we may have blood time again, so we do have more blood time. And we will step away for another 30-second timeout. as this match here in the prelim is a 3-1 lead for Camden Rondesvet with 36 seconds remaining in the second period.
Riverside Building Center in Lisbon is the premier building supply headquarters in southeastern North Dakota. They have it from the basic home improvements to complete pre-built homes. Their staff is knowledgeable in every product they sell. With their large inventory and a fleet of 6 delivery vehicles, Riverside Building Center in Lisbon can bring the products to your job site. From a hammer all the way to a home, they have you covered. Visit rbclisbon.com today. That's rbclisbon.com. Riverside Building Center in Lisbon.
Homegrown local radio is now worldwide with 24-hour streaming. Download the RJ Radio app to hear local voices from local radio with KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ 24 hours a day from anywhere. You can listen to your favorite programs like the RJ Family Morning Show, local news, farm markets, music, high school sports, church services, more from anywhere. KRJB, KRJM, and 96.7 KKCQ is streaming on the RJ Radio app. Download it to your device and take us with you wherever you go.
All right, welcome back here to Lisbon High School Gymnasium. Just taking care of some blood time. We're in the second period of our third prelim match of the evening. So we opened up with a heavyweight prelim. Braden Szymanski and Zach Ward. Zach Ward won that match. And then Hyatt Ursink and Logan Shefke with Hyatt Ursink of Lisbon winning that match. And now we have Reese Klein of Oaks and Cam Rondesvet of Lisbon Broncos. Rondesvet for the Broncos in the white singlet with the red trim. Has the 3-1 lead with 15 seconds remaining. Has a little snap down. Klein goes down to the mat looking for a high crotch fireman's. Pushing into Rondesvet. Rondesvet is backing off the mat. Trying to get those hips down. And no warning for stalling as they're back to the center for a restart. Rondesvet with the plug in the nose. Gives the nods to some of his former basketball teammates walking by. Out there wrestling a match. You got to love it. All right. End of the second period. And the 3-1 score. Going into the third period, Rondesvet chooses the bottom position. Camden also plays baseball. A lot of third base last year for the Broncos Legion and varsity team. Took a year off of wrestling and played basketball. Now he's back for his senior year wrestling. Going to finish it out. Looking for an escape. Nose plug goes flying. He's on the bottom position. Then they're off on that far edge of the mat. Shefty still working, trying to work a breakdown. Good movement by Rondesvet. And now on the restart with the minute 7 remaining third period, still 3-1's the score. Shefke in the top position for Oaks. Now some new singlets over there for the Oaks Tornadoes. Not the burnt orange we're used to, or black. He's going for a head low, a little tilt, rolls through. He's going to get a couple points here on Rondesvet. And he's going to pick up 2 near fall. Gets a 2 count. We're tied up at 3. So good tilt by Shefke. Still working. Rondesvet's going to try to hit the back door. He stands up to his feet. No points awarded yet. He's going to break contact. Now with 33 seconds. Now he's given awarded 1. Shefke looking for a headlock. Rondesvet pushes away. Goes to work on the head. Shefke looking for the head and arm throw with Rondesvet up 4-3. 20 seconds. Final 20 ticks on the clock going here. Prelim match. These wrestlers are going at it. Who wants it more? And a counter off the headlock by Rondesvet. Shefke still rolling through. He has Rondesvet in some trouble with 7 seconds remaining. He just had the head and no arm. He just kept with it. Rondesvet looked like he was going to be able to settle in. And he had the wrist above the elbow. I don't know how that works out. Or he had the wrist instead of above the elbow off of that headlock. Rondesvet kind of rolled into that, tightened up, and Shefke with the win by decision. Or excuse me, Reese Klein. I apologize for that there, Mr. Reese Klein, on an incredible comeback win. And now Jack Lucina out there, the 7th grader, wrestling Errol Berg. So Lucina and Berg going at it. here for some prelim action with a minute 30 on the clock, first period. Couple of lightweights. As Lucina going to work. Off the whistle, looking for a wrist tie. Backs up, trying to hit a duck under, going to work on the elbow, pushes away. There, Berg backs up to the center of the mat with a minute 15 remaining. Goes to the double collars by Lucina, now pushes Berg away. Lucina back to the center of the mat. Tries a knee pick, now doubles up. Had a nice shot. See if he can finish it up. Switches off to a single. Head to the inside. Comes back around for the three-point takedown for Jack Lucina. Lucina with the three. So he's up early, 3-1. Final score between Reese Klein and Cam Rondesvet. I have that at 8-4 in that prelim match. Win by decision was Reese Klein over Camden Rondesvet. Now we have Jack Lucina is up 3-0 in the first period. 26 seconds remaining. And Lucina try to work over the top in a crossface. Berg doing a good job tying up that wrist as Lucina goes back to work with the crossface between the legs. Little stand-up attempt. Now he's kind of over the top. As Berg's trying to pass that wrist, has a good job there isolating it. He just has to pass it over, plant the hand on the mat, and then turn those hips away. Trying to look for an escape, but time runs out. And Lucina still with the 3-0 lead. As Berg with the choice, he defers over to Lucina. Lucina's going to pick both up. Neutral position to start things out. So we go 3-0 into the second period in this prelim match between Lucina and Berg. Lucina from Lisbon in the white singlet, red trim. Lucina works the collar tie. Berg trading with Lucina and collar ties. Now working some wrist control. Little snap down by Berg. Now a nice double shot. Catches Lucina a little bit flat-footed. Timed it up. Lucina with the great sprawl. Goes to work with the quarter. Nelson now comes back with a cow catcher. Has the arm and the chin locked up. And now the takedown. 3-point working for a fall. Here's Jack Lucina with 53 seconds remaining. See if he's got to settle back here. Get his shoulders and his chest. He's kind of moved back, try to move back and settle in. Right now he's a little bit high over the top. Got to come out to the side a little bit. Lower that chest now with the 4 near fall. So we have 3 more takedown and 4 near fall. So our score now 10-0 in favor of Lucina. Lucina going to work on top with the half Nelson. He has that locked in tight. No arm or no wrist or ankle, but he's had that buried deep, and Berg goes to his back. Official down there with the pin for Lucina. In the second period, 10 seconds remaining. So Lucina wins by a fall.
Wrestling for Oaks, Joseph Dobitz. For Lisbon, Andrew Hansen. On deck, Levi Thorpe and Malik Anderson on deck.
So Andrew Hansen for the Broncos going out there. Andrew also a 7th grader for Lisbon. Looks like he's wrestling Joseph Dobitz. So Dobitz and Anderson. Or excuse me, Andrew Hansen out there with the minute 18 remaining. Dobitz going to go in, locks up on a double, turns the corner for the takedown. Dobitz working a tilt, has the wrist locked up with Hansen going to work for some wrist control. He's going to roll over, takes Hansen over to his back, works for the 4-point near fall. Hansen's going to roll through. Dobitz going back work, 2-on-1's going to roll through again, gets the 4 near fall, or 7-0, rolls through again here. And Hansen just trying to keep that right shoulder up. and roll through. Dobitz repositions. Comes back around for 4 more near fall. Breaks the wrist. So that'll put him up 11-0. Works back on the legs of Hansen. Hansen goes over here, giving up some near fall. I think he already counted to 4. So there's 4 near fall coming now. Dobitz working for the fall, and Hansen gets into the second period, so it gives 2 near fall. We're 13-0. Here with our 7th grader out there, Andrew Hansen. White singlet with the red trim. Dobitz chooses going to bottom position. Hansen on top. Hansen goes right away, tries to hit chop and purchase. Dobitz with the reversal, and that'll be the 15-0 Tech fall with the reversal.
Winner by technical fall, Joseph Dobitz.
So Dobitz with the win by Tech fall in the prelim.
Now wrestling for Oaks, Levi Thorpe. For Lisbon, Malik Anderson.
And now Levi Thorpe and Malik Anderson going out there. So Malik, student over in Enderlin, North Dakota, out here wrestling. He's in the 8th grade over there. Trying to work kind of a cow catcher position on Thorpe. Thorpe's going to drop down, high crotch position. Trying to get up to his feet. Has Anderson cracked down. Now Anderson with a nice hip heist around. Athletic move. Heavy hips into the mat. He's going to go back. He's trying to muscle Thorpe a little bit. Thorpe, strong lad himself with 47 seconds remaining. Now Anderson's going to try to hit the corner, run the corner. Got to keep those feet moving. Has Thorpe in a little bit of trouble, but Thorpe goes back to the high crotch. Malik Anderson with the nice sprawl, tried the chin whip, gives up the 3-point takedown. And now Thorpe with a hard crossface over the top. Anderson posts the outside leg. Thorpe still working the crossface. Down to 15 seconds. Anderson a little bit of trouble. Thorpe's going to go try to hit the screwdriver. Digs underneath, locks the hands together. Going to try to run around the top and pull Anderson over. Has Anderson over. There were 3 seconds remaining in the period. Anderson see if he can escape, get him back to his feet, as he'll give up 2 near fall. So 2 near fall. And we're 5-0. So it's 5-0. And looks like we do have some blood time. So we're going to step away. We'll take a 30-second timeout and come back for more prelim action here in our featured duel tonight between the Lisbon Broncos and the Oaks Tornadoes. That's just ahead on yourliveevent.com.
Insurance is your friendly neighborhood team of qualified insurance professionals celebrating over 40 years of service. As an experienced independent insurance agency, they have access to highly rated insurance companies and can shop around to find you an affordable solution for farm, crop, business, home, and auto insurance. Visit them at one of their locations in Lisbon, Winter, or Rutland and get a free quote started today. For more information, go to nd-insure.com.
From on-site farm repairs to maintaining the condition of your vehicle, trust the staff at Welton's Tire Service. They've served the Lisbon area since 1972, guaranteeing customers satisfaction and workmanship from farm equipment, tire services, and preventative vehicle maintenance. You'll find it all from affordable prices, free estimates, to their knowledgeable technicians answering any question. Welton's Tire Service is locally owned and located on Main Street in Lisbon. For information, go online to weltonstire.net or call 701-683-5136.
All right, welcome back, Lisbon High School Gymnasium. Yes, we're on prelim number 6. Levi Thorpe and Malik Anderson. Thorpe has the 5-0 lead going into the second as we're just recovered from some blood time in the end of the period. So he's up 5-0. Wrestlers start the second period in the neutral position. Our takedowns are worth 3 points. Yes, Levi Thorpe secured a takedown and 2 near fall. He goes back underneath Anderson. Anderson has a nice sprawl, but just has to figure out what to do from there. Thorpe muscles through with the high crotch, spins around, picks up his 3 takedown. Now has the 8-0 lead on Anderson. Goes back to work over the top. Anderson's going to post the outside. Thorpe's going to cradle him up. Got the head, the knee with that stand up. Thorpe with the cradle. See if Anderson can work that hand out. Trying to do a little hand fighting underneath there. See him digging at the fingers on Thorpe. Thorpe doing a good job using those legs and getting Anderson over to his hip. As he pick up near fall with 21 seconds remaining. Anderson, little hand fighting, peels the grip by Thorpe for near fall. For Thorpe, now up 12-0. Anderson with the 1-point escape. So we're looking at 12-1. So 12-1, Levi Thorpe with the lead, his choice. He's gonna pick neutral. I'd pick neutral or top. He goes neutral here with Malik Anderson. Thorpe goes into a collar tie. Anderson and outside around the shoulders. Now wrist tie by Thorpe. Goes 2-on-1 on the far side. A little bit of head position going on there right now, forehead to forehead. As Thorpe goes into him with the collar tie. Anderson pummels in. Goes to the collar into the snap down. Thorpe goes back to the leg with the high crotch. Anderson trying to bowl him over. Good position there by Thorpe as he doubles up, runs over Anderson for the 3-point takedown. And now goes to work with the screwdriver with 40 seconds remaining in the third period. Has the 15-1 lead. He's trying to finish this off with a win by fall as he's up 15-1. He'll have 4 near fall coming his way. Has the screwdriver in the shoulders, not up by much on the left side. Ref Gabe Lyons down there takes a look. Looking for a little bit of daylight or no daylight. Slaps the mat. In the win by fall for Levi Thorpe.
Winner by fall, Levi Thorpe.
And now we have Errol Berg and Theo Hans.
Now wrestling for Oaks, Errol Berg. For Lisbon, Theo Hans.
For prelim number 7 this evening. So Theo Hans of the Broncos out there, red singlet, or white singlet with the red trim. Berg earlier with this prelim match, he wrestled Jack Lucina. Lucina won that by a fall in the first period. Or excuse me, that was the second period win by fall for Jack Lucina. Hans goes to work. Just tried an arm drag there, tried to step around. Berg shrugs him off. Now goes for a nice double leg shot. Kind of went in with the head down, still driving on Hans. Hans working underneath her on the near side, tried to hit the go behind and called out just as he was turning the corner. So good job driving the legs there by Errol Berg, staying with that double leg shot. On the edge of the mat, Hans tries to push the head and spin. And they're called out back to the center for a restart with 35 seconds remaining. In the first period, Hans goes to work on the wrist, now pushes away back to the center of the mat. Hans reaches in, tries a little knee pick, backs up to the center. Now Berg changes level, tried to hit a double. Good defense by Hans. They'll snap down. Controlling the head by Berg. Another shot. Down to 5 seconds remaining in the first period. We're still scoreless in this prelim match. Number 7 of the evening between Arrowberg and Theo Hans. Hans from Lisbon goes to school in Enderlin. And choice there deferred over to Berg. He chooses the bottom position with a minute 30 on the clock in the second period. So we are up here broadcasting from our Stock Growers Bank broadcast booth up here in the Crow's Nest on the south side of the gymnasium for Stock Growers Bank, your small town bank. Big time partner with Stock Growers mobile app. Experience banking at your fingertips anytime, anywhere. Bank near so you can go far with Stock Growers Bank. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender. And this is your Stock Growers Bank broadcast booth here for our winter high school activities on your live event, broadcasting for the Lisbon Broncos. As now under a minute remaining. We have Hans in the top position, and Berg, a little bit of a mistake there. He reached back there as Hans was coming around to the side. Hans realized that. Threw in a half, now he has the head and arm, trying to go chest on chest. He'll pick up his near fall. Not sure if he has 4. Was able to secure the 4 count for the near fall. So down to 24 seconds remaining. Berg still trying to fight off his back. Hans will reposition. We're in the second period. We were scoreless after the first. Now the 4 near fall coming to Hans. Down to 5 seconds. Hans in the top position. White singlet, red trim. Working over. Trying to hit a crossface. Switches up. Goes to the power half. And we're 4-0 going into the third period. Choice for Theo Hans. He's going to choose the top position. Found a little success there with that 4-point near fall. Capitalizing on the reach back by Berg. Sit out by Berg. Hans gets back around. Staying up on his toe. Now a stand up by Berg. Hans with the mat return. As the chop and purchase locked up. Berg frees up the wrist. Now goes to the bar arm. Grabs the wrist, straightens it out, puts the forehead in the back of the tricep. Goes to the arm bar on the near side. Try to lock up the wrist and walk this around. They're working that edge of the mat. See if Berg is able to kind of slide up and get closer to the edge. Right now doing a good job of hugging. Here's Hans. He goes to the bar half. Has it locked in pretty tight. Hits the far wrist. Did a good job countering that combination put on there by Theo Hans. Went to the arm bar, then to the bar half. Now Hans is going to go work with a crossface. Headgear come off on Berg. Down to 28 seconds remaining. 4-0 lead for Theo Hans. We're in the third period. 7th prelim match of the evening. Our official out there right now is Gabe Lyons and Scott Carblum. And down to 8 seconds remaining in the third period. Hans still working on top. Berg a little knee slide going back towards the center. And time runs out. That's a 4-0 win for Theo Hans with those near fall.
Winner by decision, Theo Hans. Now wrestling
So
for Oaks, Carson German, and for Lisbon, Weston Clausen.
Weston Clausen going out
Loden Shefty
for Lisbon. Here with prelim number 8. Wrestling Carson German. Clausen, a junior this year over at Enderlin, wrestling for the Broncos. Takes the double leg shot. German up over the top, works the front headlock. Now Clausen back up to his feet. Wrestlers break apart. Nice shot. Went to work on the head there by Carson German into a high crotch. Good reaction by Clausen. Big sprawl. Now goes to work over the top on German. German able to get a little hand control, steps away, shoved by Clausen. Wrestlers go back to the center of the mat with 15 seconds remaining in the first period. German going back, working on the head on Clausen. Clausen not really liking that. And shrugs it off, down to 10 seconds remaining. Clausen ties up those wrists. Now a club to the head. Little snap down. Back to the center of the mat, and time expires. We're going scoreless into the second period. And German with the choice defers over to Clausen. Clausen chooses bottom position. Bottom position chosen by Weston Clausen after German defers. And the escape by Weston Clausen. He's up and out. Less than 15 seconds, so the 1-0 lead now for Clausen with the escape. They go back, working center of the mat. Nice shot to the outside with the high crotch shot. German's going to lock up on that. Clausen going to work on the head. Now German doubles up. He's trying to run it down. Clausen doing a good job defending. Good balance, using a little bit of athleticism, keeping those hips up. German still locked up on the leg. Clausen trying to get around. Needs to go to work on the head on German. German doing a good job protecting his head. Not letting Clausen get a hold of it. Clausen able to step around. He has the ankle hook, but no takedown awarded yet for Clausen. And he needs to go Iowa ride. Now he's up over the top. And the 3-point, he's a little bit high, so Clausen has to scoot the hips back as he's high on German. Clausen still a little bit high. Didn't readjust at all. Got his takedown. So he has the takedown. As the legs are locked around the body. And they're going to go into the third period. The 4-0 lead for Weston Clausen as he secures the escape and the takedown in the period. And we're going to go neutral here with Carson German, Weston Clausen. Clausen for the Broncos, white singlet, red trim. Well, off the whistle, not much movement, just holding center of the mat. Now a little bit of wrist tie, hand fighting going on with 1:15 remaining. Pressure by German, snap down on Clausen. He has a little bit of work to do. Right now, Clausen has the 4-0 lead in the third period with a minute remaining. We're still in our prelim matches. This is prelim number 8 of the evening. As the chairs are full on both sides and wrestlers standing up in the back, so that's good to see. A lot of wrestlers out here for both teams trying to get in on the prelim action. Here's Weston Clausen with the snap down. Has head in the hole. Oh, and a nice chin whip. And German able to keep belly down. Little chin whip again by Clausen. German locks up on the high crotch. As Clausen is going for the home run with the chin whip, he came around. He has the 4-0 lead with 25 seconds remaining. German was able to stay belly down. Clausen wasn't able to secure a takedown or any near fall off of that. And down to 15 seconds remaining. Home run time coming up here for German as he chooses to go underneath on Clausen. Down to 10 seconds remaining. 4-0 lead for Weston Clausen. And looks like he'll pull this one out with 3 seconds remaining as he'll pick up the win. Another 4-0 win by decision for Lisbon in the prelim. Here with Weston Clausen over Carson German.
Winner by decision, Weston Clausen. Now wrestling.
So Weston Clausen with the win by decision over Carson German brings up prelim number 9, Loden Shefke and Torrance Ursink. So Loden was out here earlier as he wrestled Hyatt Ersink. He wrestled Torrance's brother Hyatt. Hyatt was able to win that one by decision. I think that was a 13-4. I have to go back and look at that one. So here's Torrance Ersink. Torrance, a 7th grader. Yeah, Shefke goes to work over the top on Torrance, drops down to a leg. And the 3-point takedown for Shefke. So Shefke has the early 3-0 lead with 55 seconds remaining. Torrance, a 7th grader, and I think Hyatt's a freshman this year. And picking up near fall here for Oaks is Loden Shefke in this prelim match, number 9 of the evening. So he does have his 4 near fall. He's going to try to stretch this out. So he does have the 4 near fall. With 26 seconds remaining in the first period. Ersink broke belly down on the mat for Lisbon, wearing the white singlet with the red trim. Hails from Fort Ransom, North Dakota. Currently in the bottom position with 10 seconds remaining. Shefke goes to work on top, trying to isolate that far wrist and dig that out. He's going to run out of time here with time expiring going into the second period. It's a 7-0 lead. Takedown and 4 near fall for Loden Shefke in the first period. So Ersink going to choose. He's either both up or neutral. He's going to, both up or top position, neutral or top position. He's going to pick top position. Good choice by Torrance Ersink. And a stand-up by Shefke. And he's going to hip ice back around with the sit-out. Picks up the takedown, down with a minute 13 remaining. He's up now 9-0 with the reversal. So we gave him a reversal. Yeah, Ersink still fighting hard on the bottom. Crossface by Shefke. Gets Ersink, broke belly down. Ersink now knew what would happen if he raised up his head, and just as he did that, a hard crossface comes across the top by Shefke. Ersink trying to roll through. Shefke's going to reposition. Now he's working in for a fall, and a good pinning combination has it rolled up tight with the screwdriver. Going to try to force that left shoulder down, up just by a little bit. Ersink still fighting off the bottom. Down to 35 seconds remaining here for Torrance. Gets back belly down, good fight, and 4 near fall, so it's 13-0 with the near fall. Yeah, Shefke's going to work. He's going to try to end this one either by fall or tech fall, and that's a win by pin with 19.5 seconds remaining in the period, in the second period. So Jesse Jones going out for Lisbon. And Levi Thorpe for Oaks. Jesse back on the wrestling mat. The last time he wrestled that I recall was 2nd grade over in Lemoore, and he had broke his arm. He's back out here as a sophomore now. Hits the takedown on Thorpe. And has the cradle locked up, using that long arm. And has the cradle locked up on Thorpe. Jones going to work, being aggressive. So he has the 2 near fall. He picks up 2 near fall. Just has to settle into this match now. Had the takedown and 2 near fall up 5-0. A little bit high on Thorpe. Thorpe's going to go to work on the leg. Has the high crotch locked up. And Jones muscles over Thorpe. Thorpe looked like he was going to turn the corner. Jones with the crossface. It reminds me of one of the Schwab boys out there. Has the full pull going out there. As Thorpe now kind of cartwheels across as Jesse Jones locks up another cradle. Thorpe just kind of fell into that one, and it goes off the edge of the mat. Kind of reminds me of a Levi Schwab out there wrestling for all the Lisbon wrestling fans. Levi or Spencer. Just natural athletic ability and obviously strong as he's throwing around Levi Thorpe. And now Jones will take a 5-0 lead. So Thorpe goes neutral position with Jones. Jesse Jones for Lisbon in the white, or red, we're in the red singlet with the yellow trim. Has the 5-0 lead. Second period starting the neutral position with 1:22 remaining. Thorpe going into Jones. Jones backs around the mat. Now back to the center. Thorpe into Jones with the minute remaining. Now Jesse Jones, locked it up. Stepped into it. Picks up the three-point takedown. Just missed a nice throw. Yes, Thorpe and Jones are going to go at this. Jones has the 8-0 lead here. Thorpe in on the leg. Jones is going to find himself in some trouble as Thorpe settles in for the reversal. Now 8-2 is your score with 33 seconds remaining. Jesse Jones for the Broncos, bottom position with the 8-2 lead. Thorpe going to work on the legs on Jones. Jones posts the outside, going to tripod, quad pod up, gets some hand control. He's got to keep that head up off the mat. Does a good job hand fighting. Thorpe still working, trying to isolate the wrist. Just lets Jones go with 4 seconds remaining. Still got another period here for both wrestlers as they went at it. At least for the first period and a half, as Jones with choice. He's going to pick neutral. 9-2 with the escape. For Jesse Jones. So he picked up a takedown and an escape. Thorpe with the reversal. So 9-2 going into the third. Here, Thorpe's going to go to work on the head and arm. Jesse Jones doubles up on it. Just lost his footing, but he had a nice double leg shot. It was a fun match to watch and call here with a minute remaining. 3-point takedown for Thorpe. Thorpe's not done scoring yet. As we're now 9-5, he needs 4 points to tie it up. Thing about wrestling, you can always pin the guy. Anything can happen. Yes, now Thorpe goes up underneath with the claw ride on Jesse Jones. Jones belly hugging the mat. Thorpe with the half Nelson. Jones has got to pick the head up. This is where a little inexperience is going to get Jesse Jones. Thorpe is going to dig that half in. Jones is trying to reach across or reach. As Thorpe with the pinning combination locked up on Jesse Jones. The shoulder goes flat to the mat. And Jones and Thorpe went at it. 20 seconds left. In the win by fall is Levi Thorpe over Jesse Jones. So that's nothing to hang your head about if you're Jesse Jones.
Now wrestling, Joseph Dobitz and Hyatt Ursing. On deck, Errol Berg, Cash, Raymond on deck.
So Thorpe with the takedown. Here's Hyatt Ursink. Hyatt picking up a win by decision against Shefke in his first prelim. Now going up against Joseph Dobitz. So that was prelim 10. Now we're on prelim 11. Dobitz and Ursink. Dobitz with the 3-point takedown. Little hip tops on Ursink. As we're down first period with an escape by Ursink. So our score is 3-1. So up on our Bank North scoreboard here in our prelim match, we're a 3-1 score here. Joseph Dobitz up on Hyatt Ursink in the first period with 33 seconds remaining for Bank North. Your trusted financial partner for generations, helping customers and communities build, grow, and prosper. To see what values-based banking can do for you, visit banknorth.bank today. Bank North, member FDIC, and equal housing lender. It's your banknorth.bank scoreboard. Here for our winter athletics. And a double leg shot by Dolbitz, trying to turn the corner on Ursink. Ursink not much of a sprawl. Dolbitz with the single leg. Ursink with the quarter Nelson. He's got to get those hips squared around. Stands up to his feet, and they're going to run out of time. Dolbitz was trying to double up. So Ursink, good job not giving up points at the end of the period. Dolbitz takes the 3-1 lead. And the defer here to the second or into the third. So Ursink defers over to Dolbitz. Dolbitz chooses bottom position. He has the 3-1 lead with 1:30 on the clock in the second period. Ooh, and a big mat return. So it's kind of a suplex, kind of a mat return, but kind of at the last minute, Dolbitz was able to turn and get belly down on it. So just a little warning by the referee. Here's Scott Carblum seeing that so it doesn't get out of control and end up in something a little more dangerous. And Dolbitz belly down. Ursink was able to hit the crossface on Dolbitz. He's working that far elbow, trying to push that far elbow up. Dolbitz trying to hand fight. He can feel the pressure coming. Ursink doing a good job trying to keep the crossface buried. Cross that bridge of the nose. Dolbitz back up to his base. See if Ursink has an answer. Dolbitz going to stand up. Turns in. Throws a head and arm around Ursink. Switches to the half Nelson. The 2-point reversal for Joseph Dolbitz. He has the 5-1 lead. Ursink stands up. Not able to ride on Ursink. Ursink doing a good job off the bottom. So we're 5-1. Dolbitz with a takedown and a reversal in this match. Now 5-2 with the escape. Dolbitz in on another double leg. And he's going to turn the corner and the 3-point takedown for Joseph Dolbitz. 8-2 is your score. See if he settles in now on the top. He wore down Ursink enough. As he picked up the takedown, Ursink's going to try to get away. Trying to mule kick out of this. Dolbitz going to work on the ankle. And a stall warning issued at the end of the second period. And 8-2, Dolbitz did a good job not giving up the point at the end of the period. Took the stall warning. So we're 8-2 heading into the third. Ursink chooses bottom position. Done a good job so far off the bottom. With 1:30 on the clock, third period. Tries to hit a stand-up off the whistle, return back to the mat by Joseph Dolbitz. Of Oaks in the top position. Has the chop and purchase. All goes to the arm bar on Ursink. Ursink's got to try to stretch that arm out or hand fight underneath. Dolbitz has a chicken wing. He's going to step back around and try to pull Ursink back over the top into a tilt position. Ursink doing a good job fighting so far. Dolbitz just has to keep that. Ursink going to work now on the fingers. He just has to peel those fingers. Dolbitz goes back, belly down, going to try to reposition. Ursink able to get that arm free and walks it forward, back up to his base with 40 seconds remaining. Down to 35 seconds. And now locks up 2-on-1, hits the head low, roll through with the tilt. Down to 25 seconds remaining, picks up his near fall. So the 3 near fall for Joseph Dolbitz on Ursink. Doing some hand fighting underneath. Bottom position here for Hyatt Ursink. Down to 10 seconds remaining. Not much going for Ursink off the bottom. He's going to stand up, inside leg. Not able to clear his hips. Goes to the head, tries to hit the headlock, and just runs out of time. So just runs out of time for Ursink with the headlock on Dolbitz. Threw him over. And we're 8-2 the final, win by decision for Joseph Dobitz. So Cashton Riemann coming out for Lisbon. Riemann, a 7th grader. The second year wrestling. It's like Errol Berg again, getting the full lineup of the Lisbon 7th graders. So Berg and Riemann going at it. So prelim number 12. Wrestlers locked up, collar tie. Berg's had 2 previous matches. Lost by decision to Theo Hans 4-0. And then lost by a fall in the second period to Jack Lucina. Out here on Riemann has a double leg, goes to the forklift position, trying to pass the leg. Just wasn't able to keep that elevated as Riemann able to go back, hips down. Good top pressure by Cashton Riemann. Goes to work on the head. Berg still driving his legs. Riemann still working on the head, trying to spin. Got to clear that leg here on the near side. As Berg goes to work, they call a stalemate by the official. He'll stand him back up on the, go to the center of the mat for the restart. With 27 seconds remaining in the first period. So now down to 15. Berg in on another double leg shot. He's had some nice double leg shots tonight, just not able to finish them. Gets stuck down there for a short period of time. And time expires. We're going scoreless between Berg and Riemann in our prelim match. Prelim number 12. Lucky number 13 coming up. As we're minute 30 in the second period. Riemann of the Broncos in the bottom position, white singlet, red trim. Berg going to work on top, has the crossface locked up over the top. Riemann with the sit out, gets back up to his feet, had a nice hip ice back around, so good move by Cashton Riemann. Berg did a good job going back down, dropped down to a double leg shot. Riemann still not able to clear the hips and pick up his points. Either an escape or a reversal. And down to 47 seconds remaining. Berg back up into a single leg. Locks up around the leg of Riemann. Riemann's still working up over the top. Now he's going to go in that forklift position. He's got to forklift that back up. Cracks down Riemann to his hip. Riemann able to power up. Gets those hips back squared down to the mat. Berg still working hard on the bottom. Goes back to the single leg, trying to crack down the hips of Riemann on the left side. Riemann still countering with 19 seconds remaining. Berg still driving. Berg still driving on the leg of Riemann as we go. Potentially dangerous and no points awarded. So it's no points. With 9 seconds remaining. So all that work by both wrestlers and no points for either wrestler. Zero in the second with 7 seconds remaining. Off the whistle, Berg breaks down Riemann, belly down with 3 seconds. Time expires going to the third period. And Riemann takes the bottom position. Scoreless going into the third period. In the referee's position off the whistle. Riemann tries a stand-up. Return back down to the mat by Berg. And now down to 1:05 remaining. We're in the third period. And Berg able to roll over Riemann. Riemann's going to give up a couple near fall. Berg's going to settle in, has the head. Looked like he had it hooked over the top. Gets the 4 near fall, has the 4-0 lead. Here for Errol Berg. He's had a lot of work tonight. This is his third match of the evening. Picks up 4 near fall. Goes to work with the crossface over the top with 34 seconds remaining. Riemann just kind of stuck on the bottom. Wasn't able to get out in the second period and score a point. They put him back down there in the third. And now a 4-0 lead with 12 seconds remaining. And looks like Errol Berg will pick up his first win of the evening as he wins by decision 4-0 over Cashton Riemann of Lisbon. And our lucky number 13.
Final JV match for Oaks, Jude Lokes.
So Jude Lokes and Jack Lucina.
For Lisbon, Jack Lucina.
So Lokes and Lucina going at it. Jack, second prelim of the night. Prelim number 13. So we'll finish out this prelim, come back for a sponsor break, and then do our prelim and our pregame show, pre-match show, and starting lineups, and then get into this evening's duel. This is prelim number 13 here, Lucina and Jude Lokes. Lucina with the go behind, able to get Leaks back down to the mat, spins around behind him. Going to work on top. Here's Lucina, has the crossface. Going to step up. Nice big step there by Lucina. Has been listening to somebody in the practice room. Takes the step towards the head. Now gets around on the opposite side. So just got out of position, but had a nice crossface with the step to the head. Gets up a little bit wild. Leaks going to go down, doubles up on Lucina. They're going to go right off the edge of the mat. And Lucina's going to give up the 2 reversal. So yeah, the takedown by Lucina, now reversal. 3-2's your score. Lucina for Lisbon in the white singlet, red trim in the bottom position. Off the whistle with the stand-up. Goes to some hand fighting on the bottom here for Lucina. Leaks in the top position. Working underneath on that far, or I should say on that near arm, trying to chop it. The Oaks has been working on this little head low chop and purchase into a tilt. As Lucina catches Leaks, trying to roll him through, and he has head and arm locked up. That's just one of the dangers if you don't have it locked up tight. And Lucina's going to pick up the reversal and some near fall. So he gets the reversal for Lucina, and then 4 near fall. We're 9-2. Leaks had a nice, or working a nice pinning or tilt combination there with that chop and purchase, trying to hit the head low roll through into a tilt. Lucina catches the head and arm for the reversal and near fall. Lucina in the bottom position, Leaks in the top. Lucina still trying to knee slide out. Keeps that knee posted. A good job keeping that leg or knee posted away from the head. As he's still working some hand control. And looks like we have blood time here for Jude Leaks, and Leaks with some blood time. We're going to step away for a 30-second timeout. You're watching YourLiveEvent.com.
Stay up to date all year long with your live event from our social platforms with X, Facebook, and YouTube. From the latest coaches show to watch game broadcasts back on demand from earlier in the season. Search Your Live Event on YouTube and hit subscribe.
Outside the three-point arc. Pick and pop here with Spaeth into the left side corner. 3, good.
For the complete and most up-to-date schedule throughout the year, head to our website at yourliveevent.com.
While medicine's greatest advancements look like the latest sci-fi, one of our most powerful tools is far more simple, more human. It's a calling to connect with purpose. That's how we're evolving healthcare, by treating people, not just patients, with innovations that amplify healing and lead to more personalized care. Guided by the belief we all hold the power to heal.
All right, welcome back. YourLiveEvent.com here from Lisbon High School Gymnasium. On our 13th prelim of the evening, Jude Leaks and Jack Lucina. Lucina in the bottom position in the second period after the blood time. Leaks hits that head low into the tilt off that chicken wing. Lucina's trying to roll back over, trying to catch that head and arm once again. Leaks trying to fight off it. Lucina's going to catch it, goes to the head and arm. Has this one locked up tight. If he hip heists into Leaks, as Lucina's just a little bit heavy, Leaks, if he would lock up around that arm and shoulder and try to roll through on Lucina, you'd have Lucina probably with a reversal on the win by fall. Lucina tightens it up in the win by fall to finish things out. Here for Jack Lucina, has 2 pins on the night over Jude Leaks, and now we'll head in to our main event of the evening, the duel between the Broncos and the Tornadoes. We're going to step away for 30 seconds, and then we'll come back for our pre-match, pre-duel show and starting lineups. This is YourLiveEvent.com.
At Enbridge, we're focused on relationships. 23 Canadian First Nation and Métis communities now own an equity stake in Enbridge Athabasca Pipelines. In Minnesota, Enbridge has spent $450 million and counting with Native-owned companies and in wages to tribal members working on Line 3. Every day brings new collaborations, partnerships, and possibilities. Learn more at Enbridge.com.
When you choose Farmers Union Insurance, you're backed by an insurance policy provider that meets your specific requirements. At Farmers Union Insurance Gullison Olson Agency, they offer reliable insurance policies from homeowners, farm and ranch, contractors, small businesses, and more. Let Lance, Shelby, and the staff at Gullison Olson Agency take care of you today. For more information, stop into their office on Main Street in Lisbon for Farmers Union Insurance Gullison Olson Agency.
All right, welcome back here at LiveEvent.com as we're headed into our main event of the evening, the Southeast Sub-Region duel between the Lisbon Broncos and the Oaks Tornadoes. The Broncos and the Tornadoes both opening up their season tonight as they each had duels that were canceled back on the 24th of November. That I guess we'll call that Thanksgiving snowstorm, as the Broncos were supposed to travel up to Hillsborough, Central Valley for a triangular up there, and then the Oaks-Carrington duel being canceled also because of the weather back in November, as both teams will open up action this evening. And the Broncos on their schedule, they travel to Wahpeton for the Dan Unruh tournament on the 6th of December, and then come back after the Dan Unruh on the 11th for that Valley City Wahpeton triangular. This year that's in Valley City, and then follow that up on the 13th of December with the Carrington tournament, and then head back to Carrington on the 18th of December for a duel with the Cardinals. And then they'll close out their pre-Christmas, pre-holiday schedule on the 20th of December at the Valley City Holiday Tournament. And the Broncos have a long layoff as they'll come back on the 8th of January for the highly anticipated duel with South Border right after the New Year. So the Broncos with a long layoff from the 20th of December all the way to the 8th of January, so they're going to have to knock off some mat rust and try to stay focused during that long break, coming back and wrestling the Mustangs. And for Oaks after this evening, they have a duel with Lemoore Litchfield Marion on the 9th of December. And then on the 18th of December, they take on Ellendale Edgeley Calm. And then they're at the Linton Holiday Tournament the 19th through the 20th. And they come back after Christmas and the New Year for the Rumble on the Red. That's the 2nd to the 3rd of January up in Fargo at the Fargo Dome. So Oaks participating in the Rumble on the Red. Like to see that, given some of those JV kids. A lot of good matches. I really like to see the JV kids in that Rumble on the Red. And a lot of good competition for those kids and a nice big tournament atmosphere for not only the JV but also the varsity kids. As we look at our East Region schedule and then a Class B wrestling schedule for this evening, some of the duels on tap for the Southeast Sub-Region. We have South Border. South Border is in action this evening versus Linton and Killdeer in a triangular. And then some of the teams out west, we have Stanley at Deslax Burlington, and Beulah Hazen is at New Salem. And also wrestling Minot Bishop Ryan and Harvey Wells County in a quadrangular. So that's the Class B wrestling duels this evening. And then on your Class A side, Grand Forks Red River in a triangular with West Fargo Cheyenne and Horace. And then Bismarck is at Bismarck Legacy. That'd be a great duel to tune into also, that Bismarck Legacy duel this evening in Class A wrestling. As we look at the Broncos last year at the state tournament, the Broncos placed 6th in the individual side. They didn't make the dual tournament. They were beat in the Southeast Sub-Region dual tournament by the Oaks Tornadoes to get into that state tournament on the dual side. So we're looking for a rematch from last year. That was exciting dual tournament last year up in Kindred. And just kind of harken back to that Matt Schwab and J.J. Haygood match. That thing was incredible. And I expect nothing less here tonight. You look at the lineup for the Broncos and the Tornadoes. Oaks very tough up front in the lightweights against the Lisbon lineup, and then Lisbon with a lot of experience. You know, once you get past 133 or 133 pounds and up is where they really stiffen up. So look for a good back and forth duel to start things out right away this season between the Lisbon Broncos and the Oaks Tornadoes. So that will have some, possible seeding, or we'll have seeding implications going into that Southeast Sub-Region dual tournament in February. So as I said, the Broncos scored last year. They scored 87 points. They placed 6th at the state tournament. And they bring back this year 4 state place winners and 4 state qualifiers, if I have this right. So they bring back Grayson Lyons, a state qualifier. Noah Anderson, state place winner at 127 pounds. Gavin Robertson, a state qualifier. Cruz Ranke, returning two-time state place winner. Griffin Greenlee, a 3-time returning state place winner for the Broncos. Also Ryan Eng, a 2-time state place winner. Eli Lyons, a 2-time state place winner in the lineup for Lisbon, coming back this year. Matt Schwab, a state qualifier last year. Brock Lyons, a state qualifier for the Broncos. And then for the Oaks Tornadoes, Oaks coming off one of their best finishes in recent years. They placed 5th at the state tournament last year, scoring 90.5 points, edging out the Broncos for that top 5 finish at state. Kind of coveted spot there, placing in the top 5 at the state tournament. Oaks Tornadoes placing 5th last year. And they had 11 state qualifiers last year. This year they have 4 state place winners returning with another state qualifier. And their returners this year, they have Trick Dahlstrom, placed 6th last year at the state tournament. Ben Wagner placed 6th at the state tournament, also a state qualifier the previous year. Jaron Nelson, a state qualifier at 121 pounds last year. Matthias Dahlstrom, a state champion at 133 pounds, and also a 7th place finish the prior year. So 2-time state place winner, state champion in Matthias Dahlstrom. And then Zaid Heyer placed 5th last year at the state tournament. And also Max Klein coming off a state place winning performance last year, placed 8th at the state tournament. So those are the returning state place winner, state qualifiers for both teams. And you look at Lisbon last year they graduated 1 senior, so they have a number of underclassmen coming back. That senior was Aiden Hinkle. Hinkle did not place at the state tournament last year. He was a 7th place finisher the year before, but not able to get into the top 8 last year at the state tournament. And he graduated. And then for Oaks, I think a lot of the wrestlers in the Southeast Sub-Region will be happy to hear that Zane Allender and Case Allender have graduated from the Oaks Tornadoes and no longer stretching out the arms and shoulders. And both of those wrestlers having a great career. Yeah, Zane Allender placed 5th last year. Case not able to make it into the top 8, but both were returning state place winners. I think Zane, a 2-time state place winner, and Case placed 7th the year before in 2024. They also graduated Isaac Maley, Carter Protasic, J.J. Haygood as your seniors off of that Oak squad, placing 5th at the state tournament, also making it into the dual tournament last year. So that is your matchup. Yeah, as we're getting close to the duel this evening and to our starting lineups. As we're going to step away and we'll come back for more from the Lisbon High School Gymnasium as this duel just about underway. We're broadcasting from the Stockgrowers Bank broadcast booth high above the bleachers. Thanks for tuning in, everybody, and we're going to step away for a 30-second timeout.
Ensures that all students will learn, experience success, and be good students from elementary through high school. The school staff and community takes great pride in providing meaningful, innovative opportunities for students who continue to maintain ACT scores above state and national averages. Watch your kids continue to grow within the Lisbon Public School District, from the playing surface to the classroom. For more information, go online to lisbon.k12.nd.us.
While medicine's greatest advancements look like the latest sci-fi, one of our most powerful tools is far more simple, more human. It's a calling to connect with purpose. That's how we're evolving healthcare, by treating people, not just patients, with innovations that amplify healing and lead to more personalized care, guided by the belief we all hold the power to heal.
Partnership is a way of life here in the Northland. It's about pitching in to help our neighbors, making lending decisions locally, honoring long-term commitments to farmers, Main Street businesses, teams, schools, and rural communities. We're more than just a bank. We're a community partner, working constantly and diligently to enrich the lives of everyone we serve. Bank North, always true.
All right, welcome back here at 11event.com. As we're back here for our main event of the evening. It looks like the duel will start at 107 pounds. And we're ready for our starting lineups as the Broncos and the Tornadoes set to square off here inside the Lisbon High School Gymnasium, North Dakota Southeast Subregion Class B Wrestling. As the Broncos returning off a sixth-place performance at the individual state tournament. The Tornadoes placed fifth last year at the state tournament and also making it into the dual tournament. And at 107 pounds, your matchup this evening is Ryder Booman of the Lisbon Broncos takes on Carter Wall. 114 pounds, Nias Lions versus Hutton Stearns. 121, returning state place winner Ben Wagner takes on Micah Fromke. 127 pounds, Milo Fitterer takes on state place winner from a year ago, Trig Dahlstrom. 133 pounds, Jaron Nelson versus three-time state place winner for the Broncos, Noah Anderson. 139 pounds, Owen Iverson versus state qualifier Gavin Robertson. 145 pounds, Tucker Marudo versus three-time state place winner for the Broncos, Griffin Greenlee. 152 pounds, state champion, returning state champion, Matthias Dahlstrom takes on two-time state place winner for the Broncos, Ryan Eng. Returning state place winner Zaid Heyer takes on two-time state place winner for the Broncos, Cruz Ranke. 172 pounds, we have Reese Klein wrestling Eli Lyons. Lyons, a two-time state place winner for the Broncos. 189 pounds, Jacob Potasic wrestling Riley Lucina. 215 pounds, Max Klein versus returning state place winner Max Klein versus Madden Schwab. And then at heavyweight, Braden Szymanowski versus returning state qualifier Brock Lyons for the Broncos.
152 pounders for Oaks, Matthias Dahlstrom.
So looking for a Oaks to get off. I think Oaks will get off to a fat start in this duel, and then the Broncos start to stiffen up. Right around 121 pounds. As you kind of look at the starting lineups by both teams, they can still bump wrestlers up or down. I haven't seen what everybody weighed in at. Just kind of look at some of the key matchups. As you look at 152 pounds, Matthias Dahlstrom, Ryan Eng. Yes, that would be a good head-to-head matchup. Zaid Heyer, Cruz Ranke follows that at 160 pounds. And then at 189, Jacob Potasic, Riley Lucina, and 215, Max Klein and Madden Schwab. So should have some great matches throughout the lineup. As this duel set to start at 107 pounds. We are up here in the Stockgrowers Bank broadcast booth, our feature sponsor for a broadcast booth all season long for winter high school activities here in Lisbon. We'll have our Bank North scoreboard, a Bank North sponsor scoreboard. Our Olson Accounting dual recap and match recap here, sponsored by Olson Accounting. Then our Agassiz Ag Precision play of the game or precision move of the match. And our Enbridge Energy player or wrestler of the duel. As wrestlers checking in. So Carter Wall going out there for Oaks wrestling Ryder Booman. Ryder, a 7th grader, coming off the Pee Wee circuit here for Lisbon. Getting his first crack in a varsity singlet and varsity lineup. Here for Ryder Booman. So Wald, aggressive off the whistle. Booman, it's like he weighs about 96 pounds here as Wald goes in. Doubles up on Booman with the takedown. Booman did a good job getting that arm as Wald went to work on the near side trying to isolate. He goes back to that chicken wing right now, doubles up on the arm bar here for Carter Wald. He secures that first takedown, has the double arm bars locked up. Booman's going to try to roll through. Wald in good position with the pinning combination, is going to settle back those hips over the top. So 1:20 remaining. Wald trying to get the fast start for the Oaks Tornadoes and carry him through a couple more weight classes. As that can get the crowd fired up and the team fired up. You go out there and pick up the pin and the win by fall here for Carter Wald.
Winner by fall, Carter Wald.
And that's going to be a 6-0 lead in the duel. That was a first period win by fall.
114 pounders for Lisbon. Nice.
114 coming up.
For Oaks, Sutton Stearns.
So Nias Lions, Sutton Stearns. Nias getting in varsity action last year. For Lisbon. As he's checking in, I think they're just having a little problem with track wrestling, trying to get it. Or get the wrestlers in there correctly. So that's just the holdup right now. As that first match was a win by fall here for Carter Wald in the first period. Now Nias Lions, Sutton Stearns out there. Both wrestlers tall and lanky. And give the reach advantage maybe to Sutton Stearns. Yeah, Stearns goes to work the head on Lions. Lions with the collar tie, tried to work inside. Good move there by Sutton Stearns. He felt Lions coming over the top. And Lions caught on his hip, kind of cracked down on his hip. Stearns working the takedown, has Lions still on his hip. Lions up over the top in a front headlock. He's got to try to scoot those hips out from underneath him. Stearns doing a good job, locks up around the waist, scores the 3-point takedown to start things off for the Tornadoes in this 114-pound duel. And Stearns is going to roll through, hits the roll through on that head low tilt. So if I were somebody watching this duel, work a lot of hand control on the bottom position as Oaks are showing what they've been working on, what they're working on in practice. Hitting that chicken wing tilt to the head low, at least that's what we called it growing up. Roll through. Picks up some near fall, so he does have the 4 near fall. For Sutton Stearns, up 7-0 here at 114 pounds. Oaks leads the duel 6-0. With a minute remaining in the first period. So we'll just keep the dual score up on the scoreboard with the weight class, and then I'll try to keep you up to date on the score and the time as it goes here in the gymnasium of the match. Here at 114 pounds, Stearns still working on top, has wrist control underneath. Lions keeping the head down in the mat, now goes belly down here. Stearns getting a lot of pressure with that chicken wing. Down to 30 seconds. Still working the chicken wing over there. Gonna roll through off the edge of the mat. The official still counting. And see if he gave him any near fall off of that. So he gives him 3 near fall. Must have had a cheek on the edge of the mat there for 3 near fall up. Now 6-0. So we're 6-0 with near fall and the takedown for Sutton Stearns on Nias Lyons. Stearns going to work on top, far ankle, trying to run him over. As Lyons broke belly down, far edge of the mat. If you're the Lisbon wrestler, you don't want to be on that side or that edge of the mat over in Oaks territory. Try to keep in the center or work back towards your home side of the mat. Now down 6-0 going into the second period with 2 minutes on the clock. Sutton Stearns leads Nias Lyons by a score of 6-0. He's in the bottom position. Off the whistle, he kind of flattens out, now hits the quad pod. As Lyons is trying to spike the back ankle, working the far arm, or I should say the near arm. Stearns is going to try to set up a Peterson, has the leg caught as he's trying to scoot those hips away, has the far arm over the top with Lyons a little bit high. Lyons could come back in with a crossface, try to counter it. Yeah, Stearns is going to try to hit this roll. Lyons comes back, he's going to hit it. As Lyons and Stearns in a scramble position, Stearns is going to lock up on the head and arm. Lyons needs to go back and work the head in that situation. Coach was out there trying to tell him to get back to it, but Stearns able to roll through, pulls over for the reversal and the near fall. And that'll do it with the tech fall. With that 4 near fall and the reversal are 16-0.
Winner by technical fall, Sutton Stearns.
So we're up 11-0 now. $11-0 is the score. Here, Micah Fromke coming out. He'll wrestle Ben Wagner. Wagner coming off a 6th place finish last year at 114 pounds at the state tournament. Wagner goes in, the senior, with a nice slide by, open things up, and the mat return for the 3-point takedown here on Fromke. Wagner not wasting much time, breaks Fromke down. Has a leg in on the far side. And figure forwarded up, now working over the top, trying to stretch out Micah Fromke with 1:34 remaining. Got to get our weight up to date. You're at 121 pounds, Ben Wagner, Micah Fromke. Yes, Oaks is up now 11-0. Expect a fast start for Oaks. And Wagner rolls through, hits that head low and a tilt with the chicken wing, rolls through. Fromke able to get back belly down. Now under a minute remaining in the first period. 3-0 lead here for Ben Wagner. He's up, riding up over the top. Has that near arm and wrist pulled back across. Fromke crosses back, trying to stretch it out, has the head caught in the chin. Fromke's going to roll through. Fromke gets up, has a half Nelson locked up on Wagner. He's going to pick up the reversal. So we're 5-2. So we had a takedown and near fall for Wagner. And then a reversal for Fromke. We're 5-2 first period with 14 seconds remaining. Wagner in the bottom position, Fromke on top, down by 3 points, and a caution on Wagner. And firing off right off the whistle. Good job by Wagner. Gets to his feet. He's going to try to score at the end of this period. And with 10 seconds remaining, he scores the escape. Now up 6-2 with the escape. And that'll do it for the first period. Wagner here at 121 pounds, up 6-2. Over Micah Fromke. Fromke's choice chooses bottom. So he goes bottom here with Ben Wagner. Wagner had a broke belly down, trying to turn him over. Fromke was able to kind of get in that Merkel position off the reversal. Scored 2 points. Then Wagner with the escape. 6-2 is your score. And we have potentially dangerous called. And back to the restart with 1:49 remaining. So off the whistle on the restart. Fromke tries to stand up. Wagner goes and splits the legs again. Working the crossface. Going to try to stretch Fromke out. Fromke's going to get back up. Wagner doing a good job keeping the top pressure. Fromke broke back, belly down. Goes to the wrist lock. He's just trying to dig that wrist out. Get it back across Fromke again. So still 6-2 is your duel, or is your match score. A duel score 11-0. And now Fromke up to his base. Wagner's going to come back around to the front on Fromke. Fromke trying to work inside. Wasn't able to catch that leg in that high crotch fireman's position. So Wagner still in control on top, under a minute remaining. Trying to keep that wrist. If he can pass that wrist over his head and turn those hips out. Wagner did a good job, gets the wrist back. Now go back to work underneath the arms and elbows, keeping those hips behind Fromke. Fromke has head down in the match, or head down in the mat. Wagner goes back to that chop and purchase. Down to 30 seconds remaining. So Fromke back belly down. He gets warned for stalling. Not much he could do with the chop and purchase right on him. And now Wagner's going to try to run this over. Cow catcher position on Fromke. He gets him over with 7 seconds remaining. Fromke's got to fight off his back. He got about 3 seconds here, going for the pin. And that'll do it. And the near fall coming by way for Wagner off the cow catcher. Throws Fromke over. 10-2 is your score. So he picks up the near fall, the 4 near fall. He's going to go neutral in the second period. 11-0 the duel score here at 121 pounds. Here's Fromke. Nice ankle pick. Went to the collar tie and brought Fromke in. Caught him back on his heel. Picks the ankle. Now wraps it up into a kind of a cross leg cradle. Working for a pin here is Ben Wagner on Micah Fromke. Has this locked up pretty tight. Fromke is going to get loose. That'll be that's a tech fall. So that is a win by tech fall here by Wagner over Fromke. 15-2.
Winner by technical fall, Ben Wagner.
So just going into our Olson Accounting recap here for Olson Accounting. If you need help with monthly accounting and payroll, let Cindy and your staff give you a hand. Rely on the friendly team of professionals at Olson Accounting for all your tax and accounting needs. Go to colsoncpa.com. This is your Olson Accounting duel recap. We opened up the duel at 107 pounds. That was Carter Wald, winner by fall over Ryder Booman of Lisbon. 114 pounds, Sutton Stearns of Oaks picks up a win by tech fall over Nias Lions. And then at 121 pounds, it was Ben Wagner, winner by tech fall over Micah Fromke of Lisbon. So that brings us to our 16-0 duel score. And we're at 127 pounds. And right away off the whistle, Trig Dahlstrom, turning state place winner, takes Fitter down. And the one escape, as Dahlstrom's back in on a single leg shot. Fitter is going to go back over. And the double leg return straight to the back. And Fitter able to get back belly down. Able to let go of that head. That's the kind of an ender of all matches is when you get in that double leg position and you get that arm around the head and the wrestler doesn't let go. They go straight to the back. And now we're 6-1 in favor of Trig Dahlstrom at 127 pounds. As Dahlstrom has Fitterer just stretched out, potentially dangerous called. With that half Nelson, the arm stretched, working on the shoulder. So Dahlstrom up in the first period by a score of 6-1. Now 6-2. He's going to let Fitterer go. Wants to work on his feet in this first period. Goes back down. Shot and a reshot with the goal behind as Fitterer went down off the sprawl. Fitterer tried to hit a Peterson on Dahlstrom. Dahlstrom just settled those hips down into the mat. The win by fall for Trig Dahlstrom. So Dahlstrom wins by fall. Brings us to 133 pounds.
For Oaks at 133, Jared Nelson. For Lisbon, Noah Anderson.
So Nelson, Jared Nelson, Noah Anderson here at 133 pounds. Oaks in the duel up now 22-0. So 22-0 here for Jared Nelson, Noah Anderson. Anderson, returning state place winner last year, placed third at the state tournament. With the takedown here for Anderson. Hits the goal behind. He's up early 3-0. Dual score 22-0. Here's Anderson, Nelson doing a little hand fighting. Nelson returned back down to the mat by Noah Anderson. Anderson in the top position wearing the white singlet, red trim. The stand-up attempt on the edge of the mat and with some blood time as we'll go ahead and step away, take a timeout here as your Bank North scoreboard right now is 22-0 lead in this duel for the Oaks Tornadoes over the Lisbon Broncos.
Tough. But your accounting doesn't have to be. Let Olson Accounting check all the boxes. From taxes, payroll, business services, and professionalized financial guidance, all tailored to fit your requests. Whether you're a small business owner or just need help at tax time, trust Olson Accounting for professional, reliable service every time. Visit colsoncpa.com or call 701-683-2700. Olson Accounting of Lisbon.
All right, welcome back here for the restart. After our blood time, 1:14 remaining. We're at 133 pounds. Oaks Tornadoes up in this duel by a score of 22-0. Nelson with the stand-up. And Anderson tried to get that head to the knee with the cradle. Jared Nelson did a good job powering through that, able to get back down to his base. Anderson comes through with the leg right. They're going to looking here for potentially dangerous with that leg in. Anderson goes back. Nelson doing a good job holding his base. Working wrist control underneath on Anderson. Anderson now ties up the wrist here with 42 seconds remaining in the first period. Anderson has a 3-0 lead. Jaron Nelson, state qualifier last year for the Oaks Tornadoes at 121 pounds. Up here wrestling 133. Noah Anderson, during state place winner last year, placed third at 133 pounds. Back here trying to work a 2-on-1 wrist ride, tried to dig that wrist out. Nelson now going to a spladle, locks in the leg. Kind of in that Merkel position if he comes over the top with that kind of front headlock. With that inside leg caught now, broke back down to the mat there. Nelson to end the period. Defers going into the second to Anderson. Anderson chooses bottom position. So Anderson in the bottom position has the 3-0 lead in the match here at 133 pounds. And up off the whistle, Anderson quickly up with the hips away. As he's trying to work a reversal, able to get the reversal, the 2-point reversal into a cradle. As Nelson was able to get his arm free back around the neck of Anderson. Anderson kind of a dangerous spot. They're going to wrestle through that position. So it was 3-0 after the end of the first period. The 2-point reversal now 5-0 in favor of Noah Anderson. Jaron Nelson for Oaks in the bottom position, just off the center edge of the mat on the Oaks side of the mat. Oaks on the east side of the gymnasium, the Broncos on the west. Another stand-up attempt. And this time clearing the hips here is Nelson. Now 5-1 with the escape. With 58 seconds remaining in the second period. 5-1 Nelson with the escape for Oaks. Oaks with the 22-0 lead. Drops down to a double. Now Anderson going to work, clubs the head. Drops down again. Nelson with his back to the edge of the mat. On the north side of the mat. Anderson goes to the 2-on-1 with the wrist, down to 23 seconds remaining. Now drops down double. Nice goal behind there. Nice level change. Turns the corner for the 3-point takedown here for Noah Anderson. So Anderson in this match now with 2 takedowns and a reversal has the 9-1 lead. Nelson, his point coming off the escape. Anderson locks up the chicken wing on the near side, or on the far side. Riding behind Nelson at the end of the period. Our score in the match, 9-1 in favor of Anderson. Nelson chooses the top position. Choosing top here on Anderson. Anderson off the whistle was able to score a reversal beginning of the second period. As we're 9-1 here at 133 pounds, Noah Anderson, the Broncos with the lead. Once again off the whistle, has those hips out and away, goes to an inside cradle, should pick up the reversal here. So the 2-point reversal for Anderson. Goes to work with the crossface over the top. Nelson doing a good job tying up the wrist. We're 11-1 in the match. Anderson in the first period with the takedown. Led 3-0 at the end of the one. Scored a reversal and a takedown. Led 9-1 at the end of the second. Now up 10-1 with a reversal in the third. In the escape by Nelson. Nelson has a chance to throw something big here on Anderson with 1:09 remaining. Score is 10-2 in the match here at 133 pounds. Lisbon looks to pick up some bonus points here with the major decision currently 10-2 here for Anderson. Anderson gives up any points, then that major decision will go away here with a takedown by Nelson. And looking for some readjustment of the headgear, kind of going back and forth with the head taps. And they bring it back, stalemate him back to the center of the mat with 42 seconds remaining in the third period. Here your head official out there, Scott Carblum, assisted by Gabe Lyons. Down to 30 seconds remaining. High crotch attempt by Anderson. Oh, almost caught Nelson. Going back and dumping him to the mat. Anderson goes. Trying to work underneath. Keeping that underhook. Now doubles up on it. He's going to try to score a couple more points. Nice direction change here. Still no takedown awarded. Good scramble by Nelson. Down to 5 seconds. As we're 10-2, so it'll be a win, 10-2. And a major decision win for the Broncos on the scoreboard.
Clear by decision, Noah Anderson.
Just looking at that Olsen Accounting recap there, starting out the duel of our duel recap. Oaks ran the table from 107 to 127 pounds, picking up 4 wins, all bonus point victories, 2 pins and 2 tech falls. Broncos finally on the scoreboard. You're now at 139 pounds. So 139. Griffin Greenlee with a great state tournament last year. Tough weight class up here. Or excuse me, Gavin Robertson for the Broncos. So Gavin, returning state qualifier, wrestling Owen Iverson. You're at 139. So Robertson working up over the top. Ooh, goes to an inside cradle here on Iverson. Gets around for the three-point takedown here for Gavin Robertson. Robertson opens up with the takedown. Had a nice kind of front headlock snap down into a inside cradle. He'll lock up the arm bar on the near side. See if he goes bar half. Iverson did a good job picking that head up. He felt that half coming around on the far side. Robertson still has the arm bar locked in there. Just has to watch that so he doesn't go in the potentially dangerous across the 45 on the shoulder blade. Locks up the wrist. Iverson trying to stretch out that far arm. Robertson going to have to sit back, reposition, as we're down to 27 seconds remaining here at 139 pounds. Duel score 22-4 in favor of the Tornadoes as the wrestlers stand up. Iverson out off the edge of the mat, back to the center for a restart with 18 seconds remaining. Here, Owen Iverson for the Oaks Tornadoes in the bottom position, and Gavin Robertson in the top. Iverson kind of with that closed, hunched back, elbows in tight on the restart. Robertson working behind him, staying behind the arms in the elbows. And just as Iverson gains a head of steam, he runs out of time in the first period. Robertson takes the 3-0 lead into the second period. Choice going over to Iverson after deferring by Robertson. And he'll choose the top position here. As we've seen, Oaks putting a lot of time in, working that chop and purchase into that head low tilt. Rolling through a nice off the whistle hip heist by Gavin Robertson. Just missed the reversal. Now back up to his feet. He's got to kind of wrestle through this position. As Iverson with the double unders. Robertson tried to hit a duck under, tried to shuck those arms and go underneath. Iverson didn't move much off of that shot, but now Robertson able to get a little space as it's a 4-0 lead here for Gavin Robertson. So Robertson working back underneath, goes to the ankle pick, nice outside here on Nelson. We'll see a Nelson scramble here with Iverson, or with Robertson and Iverson scramble here. And keeping that toe in, and the three takedown there, good heads up by Gavin Robertson. Sometimes the mat awareness that some of these kids have out here, these wrestlers have out here, it amazes me to keep that composure. He picks up the takedown. Up 7-0 with 1:05 remaining. So we're 7-0, under a minute remaining here for Gavin Robertson up on Owen Iverson. Iverson stands up, mat return by Robertson. Nice mat return. And now down to 40 seconds. Robertson still working on top, staying behind the arms and elbows. Trying to lock up here on a chicken wing. Goes back through the legs. We'll see if he can hook up the tilt, the ball and chain. As he does, he grabs that wrist underneath the legs. Iverson does a good job, frees the hand, stands up edge of the mat. Robertson trying to return him, and off the edge. A 1-point escape as Iverson clears the hips with the escape. So give Iverson now on the board in this match. Robertson opened up the first period with a takedown. Scoring another escape and a takedown for his 7 points in the match. That was in the second period. Iverson with the escape. Final seconds tick off the clock of our second period. And Robertson and Iverson going into the third. 7-1 lead. Robertson had a nice hip high sit out. Cleared those hips in about 2 seconds to start off the second period. He's going to hit the sit out. Iverson grabs the wrist, trying to work that arm, or bar arm. Have the wrist, tried to bury that forehead into the tricep. Now Robertson gets those hips back away in that situation position. Iverson keeping hold of the leg. Robertson with the hard cross face. Still trying to spin, turn the corner for the reversal. The 2-point reversal now for Gavin Robertson. This is the third period. 2-point reversal puts Robertson up now 9-1. He has a cradle locked up on Iverson. Iverson trying to counter, trying to keep that back ankle of Iverson's tied up. Iverson trying to step over. And good job by Iverson here on Robertson, not able to turn him with that cradle locked up. 9-1. So the 8-point lead for Robertson. Iverson's going to try to keep this bonus point victory. Try to get that lead back down to 7. Now Robertson goes back in, inside cradle, drops down on the leg on Iverson. Iverson's going to scramble. Robertson's going to come back out, see if he can reach back around in this position. If he's able to reach back around to the head, he's just going to walk this up. And stalling. Well, I don't know about that, but okay. Guess I've never seen a stall call in that position before. A scramble position. So we're 22-4 in the duel with 9-1 the match score. Robertson in the lead. As off the whistle, Iverson's going to go. Hits the sit out, has the arm for the reversal. Off the edge of the mat, right here on the near edge of the mat. So the reversal, Robertson in a little bit of trouble, belly down. 9-3, so Iverson did a good job getting those 2 points with the reversal and keeping that bonus point victory down to a decision. A 3-point decision here for Robertson as he's going to win 9-3. So 22-7. You're going to 145 pounds with Griffin Greenlee coming out for the Broncos. The Broncos need to catch a little bit of fire here and fire up that bench. As Griffin Greenlee, 3-time state place winner for Lisbon, if I have it all down right. Wrestling Tucker Morodo. And Griffin's placed 6th, 7th, and 3rd. Here at 145 pounds. 22-7 in the duel. Greenlee's coming up with the takedown, going to step over, go to the armbar right away. Morodo's going to stand up on the edge of the mat, going down on the leg on Greenlee. Greenlee's looking for the elevator. Here, Morodo's going to run him out in the 1-point escape. So 1-point escape in the takedown. We're 3-1 here between Tucker Morodo and Griffin Greenlee. Both teams opening up their season this evening inside the Lisbon High School Gymnasium. Weathered out their first duels back on the 24th of November on the edge of the mat. Greenlee with the double leg shot, scoops him up, turns the corner for the 3-point takedown. He's going to let him up again. So the 1-point escape. We're 6-2. Greenlee locks up a cradle. He's going to turn the corner, has the chin whip on, goes to the Saturday Night Ride. The pin for the Broncos. With 1:02 remaining, the 58-second pin for Greenlee.
Winner by fall, Griffin Greenlee.
So the Broncos now 22-13.
152 pounders.
So that'll bring us to 152. It's going to be a good match. Here we'll see the returning state champion Matthias Dahlstrom taking on Ryan Ing. 22-13 is your dual score at 152 pounds. Broncos stringing together 3 wins in a row. They answered the 4 consecutive by Oaks. To start things out, Oaks ran the first 4 weight classes with 2 pins and a tech fall. The Broncos now with the major decision win at 133 pounds, win by decision at 139, and win by fall at 145. And here's Dahlstrom and Eng going at it at 152 pounds. Eng with the underhook on the near side. They're working head position. Eng has that forehead buried into the ear of Dahlstrom. Dahlstrom trying to fight out of that position. Snapped down by Eng. Dahlstrom's going to push him away. Back now with a minute remaining in the first period. An ankle pick attempt by Dahlstrom. Eng steps away. Eng with the outside single shot on Dahlstrom. Dahlstrom's trying to keep that whizzer in. We'll see if Eng can limp arm out of it. Goes to the head. Elevates the leg here on Dahlstrom. Eng's going to try to return Dahlstrom. Dahlstrom with the long legs. Now he gets those hips back. Eng is going to double up. Here, a good fight in the center of the mat. Now Eng still doubling on Dahlstrom. Dahlstrom with the double underhooks trying to defend on Eng. Going to the edge of the mat. Eng just has to finish that single leg shot. Big 3 points potentially here for Ryan Eng. Still with the double. And they got a stalemate here for Ryan Eng and Matthias Dahlstrom with 18 seconds remaining. Dual score 22-13. We're at 152 pounds. We're scoreless. And the slide by attempt by Dahlstrom, that's his go-to from his feet. If you're scouting the returning state champ, he loves the slide by. Hits the Merkel and picks up that 3-point takedown, and then you're suddenly down 3-0. Here with going into the second period, Eng choosing bottom position with Dahlstrom. And Dahlstrom, look for him throw in the legs or hit the tilts with the chicken wing. He's going to go right away, chops the arm. Working in an arm bar on Ryan Eng. Has the arm bar hooked up, goes to the wrist. Eng's going to try to power out of this. Ryan trying to clear that arm in the wrist. Still working it. Dahlstrom riding on top. Good position here for Dahlstrom. Eng trying to work the wrist underneath. Down with a minute 30 remaining. Eng's able to isolate the arm. Still trying to scoot those hips away. Going to try to slide out. And the hips away. They nice reverse, escape and a double leg shot. Eng not wasting any time. The re-shot off the escape. The 1-0 lead now for Eng. Dahlstrom's going to take him into the swamp on the Oak side of the mat. Eng's going to hit the single. So Dahlstrom and Eng working on the edge of the mat, the swamp side of the mat for the Broncos. That's lonely over there when you're a Bronco on the Oak side. So down to 58 seconds remaining in the second period. 1-0 lead for Ryan Eng. Oh, Dahlstrom goes in, nice single leg, just kind of bumped the arm up, went in on that single leg shot. Eng's going to try to fight out of this position. So far, no takedown given up. Eng's going to try to stalemate this. Dahlstrom's going back to work on that far ankle, try to elevate that. Eng drops down, scramble position. Dahlstrom picks up the 3 takedown. So the takedown secured by Dahlstrom. Down to 18 seconds remaining. See if Eng can score at the end of the period. Trying to clear the arm, edge of the mat. He's going to sit out, edge of the mat. Oh, and just not able to clear it. 9 seconds remaining. Eng's going to stand up. Dahlstrom pushes him out. The 1-point escape for Ryan Eng. We're 3-2 going into the second. State champ, returning state champ, has his hands full out here at 152 pounds. Eng off the whistle. He's going for it. Keeps the pressure on Dahlstrom. Off the restart, down 3-2 is Ryan Eng. Dahlstrom with choice. So Dahlstrom with the choice. Chooses bottom, start the third period. And a quad pods up, just a good technical stand up. Keeping those hips down tight. Eng's gonna double up off the mat return. So good mat return here by Ryan Eng. 15 seconds gone by in that third period. 3-2 is your score. See if Ryan can lock up some type of a turn. within the first minute. Dahlstrom, good job. Eng's going to drop down. See if he gets the escape here. Still no escape as Eng was followed that up, that little hip heist out by Dahlstrom with a double leg shot. And now the 1 point escape. So we're 4-2. Eng still working underneath Dahlstrom, keeping the pressure on top. He's going to try to grab that back ankle. He's got those long arms, the long reach. See if he can grab that back ankle and turn the corner. In the whistle, we're 4-2 with the escape by Dahlstrom in the third period. So Eng with 2 escapes, Dahlstrom with a takedown and an escape in this match at 152 pounds. 1 minute remaining. Eng with the double leg shot. You gotta like the aggressiveness here of Ryan Eng going after the returning state champ. Up to the task, works a underhook. Now 45 remaining. Shot by Eng. He gets caught underneath. Dahlstrom working the front headlock. Down to 40 seconds remaining. In the third period, 4-2 lead, stalemate. Back to the center of the mat. Here's Eng and Dahlstrom. Eng takes a look, sees 36 seconds remaining here in the third period. Goes into Dahlstrom. Eng, a nice high crotch shot. He's going to try to turn the corner. He still has it hooked up. And they go off the edge of the mat. And Ryan Eng with the double locked up on Dahlstrom. Dahlstrom able to hop, skip, and a jump off the edge. Avoids the takedown. And we're down to 25 seconds remaining. So a 4-2 lead for Matthias Dahlstrom. This time Dahlstrom hits the single leg on Eng as Eng went to post that hand on the shoulder. Dahlstrom was waiting for it. He bumped that wrist up. Down to 9 seconds remaining. As Eng just trying to scoot those hips up, not give up any points. And that'll do it. 4-2 is the score. Win by decision for Matthias Dahlstrom. 3 more points on the board. 25-13 going here at 160 pounds.
160 pounders.
So 160.
160 pounders for Oaks, a higher for Lisbon. Cruz.
Is Ranky and Higher. So this will be another good match here for the duel. Higher, returning state place winner for the Oaks Tornadoes. Last year at the state tournament, placed 5th at 152 pounds. Cruz Ranky for the Lisbon Broncos. Ranky placed 4th at 139 pounds. So back-to-back, 152, 160. You're looking for early season head-to-head matchups here in this duel or in the state of North Dakota. This is it right here at 152 and 1, now 160 between Ranky and Higher. Back to the center for a restart with the minute 35 remaining. 25-13, the duel score. As both wrestlers just working collar ties. Little stance motion in the feel out phase still. Ranky did have kind of a double leg shot off within the first 10 seconds. They went off the edge of the mat. Now Higher works a collar tie on Ranky. Ranky working the 2-on-1. Down to a minute 5 remaining in the first period. Ranky, nice double leg shot on Higher. Higher trying to keep those hips off in a way. Trying to turn the corner on the edge. Lisbon with the double leg shot on Higher. Higher able to get the hard sprawl off the edge of the mat. Down to 55 seconds remaining. So down now to 41 first period. Zaid Higher and Cruz Ranky. You're at 160 pounds. There goes Ranky, single leg shot on Higher. Higher's trying to crack him down, has the back ankle on Ranky. Ranky in a little bit of trouble. Higher is able to reach around, grabs that back ankle, stops Ranky's high crotch single, but he's able to get back up to his feet, powers through it, higher on the edge of the mat. Ranke with the legs, going to drag him back towards the center. Let's see if Ranke can finish this. 5 seconds, 4 seconds. He's going to go blast into higher, and that'll do it for the first period. We're still scoreless. Ranke not able to secure the takedown at the end of the period. We're scoreless. Defers Oaks over to Lisbon. Ranke chooses bottom position. So Cruz Ranke in the football season this year had some little bit of an injury bug. Good to see him back out here at the start of the wrestling season. Usually that football season will take a few wrestlers with it. So good to see Cruz Ranke back out here wrestling on the mat for the Broncos. So down to a minute 55 remaining in the second period. Off the whistle, Ranke stands up, trying to keep those hips down tight, stalling on higher as he was not able to return Ranke down. He's going to pick up another one here. This time a nice big mat return. Ranke not able to clear the hips. Back to the edge of the mat. This time Higher's going to drag him out. And that can come in into a point or a penalty situation by I guess if the official believes he was dragging him out on purpose to avoid an escape or loss of control. But now another stalling, now 1 point and a 1 point escape. So Ranke up 2-0. He picks up the escape in the stall. So up 2-0. So Higher just a little bit late on letting Ranke go. Picks up the stall warning. 2-0 lead for Cruz Ranke in the second period with a minute 5 remaining. 25-13 in our duel. Nice outside single shot. Ranke goes to the whizzer. Higher is going to elevate this. Let's see if Higher can finish this. Ranke had him in a predicament, had Higher in a predicament at the end of the first period. There's Higher with the 3-point takedown. Ranke quickly up to his feet. His side didn't want him, and Ranke with the escape. And that gives him a reversal. Should have been an escape and a takedown. So Ranke had broken contact immediately to a double shot. Gets the 2-point reversal from the official. So we're now 4-3. So Ranke hip heist, cleared the hips. Went to a double leg shot and got 2 points instead of 4. So now 4-3 is your score. Higher with the takedown. Ranke with the reversal. Now the escape. We're tied up at 4 with 23 seconds remaining. This is in the second period. And the escape. Now 4-4. Tied up, 6 seconds remaining. So Higher will have choice. So Higher with choice goes over to him. He'll choose bottom. So Higher chooses bottom. Start the third. We're tied up at 4. So we're into the third period, tied up at 4 apiece. We're at 160 pounds. And off the whistle, Ranke ties up that far wrist on Higher, breaks him back belly down. Higher keeps those elbows in, pushes up to his base, builds his base. Ranke still trying to chop that far arm, working behind Higher. Higher stands up. Ranke has that chicken wing locked up. And potentially dangerous call. They're tied up at 4. 25-13 is the dual score in favor of the Oaks Tornadoes. We're at 160 pounds. Had a great match at 152 pounds between Matthias Dahlstrom, Ryan Eng. Dahlstrom comes out on that one, 4-2. And the escape now for Zaid Higher. Higher already has a stall point, or 2 stall warnings, the point over to Ranke. So he'll have to watch that with a minute remaining. Ranke going into Higher. Higher able to back away, back to the edge of the mat. Ranke, nice single leg shot into a high crotch. Hire's trying to get the ankle. Ranke still driving with 55 seconds remaining. And a stalemate called. So stalemate called with 52 seconds remaining. See who has gas in the tank at the start of the season. 5-4 in favor of Zaid Higher. He picks up the escape in the third period. Now Higher in on the shot on Ranke. Ranke with the quarter Nelson. He's going to reshoot on Higher. 40 seconds remaining. Ranke goes in, collar tie on Higher. Higher with his back to the edge of the mat, takes a step, now circles back around. Ranke with another shot. 32 seconds remaining. Higher backs away, now pushes off of Ranke, doubles it up. Ranke on the edge of the mat. They go out with the hip toss, still in. Ranke has the whizzer, and they go off and out with 21 seconds remaining. 5-4. Good action back and forth. Higher staying active to avoid that stall call. He had the reshot on Ranke. Now with 17 seconds. Higher's just going to push away, circles back to the center of the mat. Ranke's going to snap down, 12 seconds remaining. Now 10. Now 9. Oh, a stall warning. 1 point with Higher backing up, and they're going to tie it up. Down with 1 second. We're going to hear about that at work tomorrow. The stall call, we're tied up at 5 apiece. He did take the step back. We're 5-5 in overtime between Ranke and Zaid Higher. So they have to reset the clock to 1 minute. So they did. I think they had 2 minutes on it. So first period, sudden victory overtime. Refresh everybody's memory. If no takedown, then you go into a top, bottom, or choice for 2 periods. And if it's still tied up, then you go into another right out, kind of sudden victory. Oh, Ranke trying to turn the corner here on Higher. He gets down to the leg. Higher's going to sprawl out. He's back into the edge of the mat. Ranke's going to drop down. Higher sprawls out on top. Now with 20 seconds remaining, Ranke and Higher still going at it. Ranke turns the corner. 15 seconds remaining. Higher and Ranke still going at it. Down to 10 seconds. Stalemate call. We're back to our feet. Both wrestlers are gassed. You're looking for the overtime in your first match of the season. We're tied up at 5 apiece. High pedigree of wrestling out there. A couple returning state place winners between Ranke and Zaid Higher. Down to 5 seconds. Looks like they're going to take this one into the next period of overtime. No sudden victory in this one as we're tied up at 5 apiece. Ranke trying to stay up on his feet. He's going to defer to Higher. Higher's going to choose bottom. Both wrestlers are gassed. Ranke sucking air, has the hands on the knees. Higher taking a couple deep breaths. He's going to take his time. Down to 30-second period. See if Ranke can ride him out or score some points. Higher quickly up to his feet. Ranke can give up a stall call here. And the 1 point escape to Higher. Down to 20 seconds. Ranke drops down. He was the first to score in the match. He's going to double up on Higher. Higher does a good job of countering these double shots by Ranke with the 3-point takedown. There's still time. You still got to wrestle out the period. As the Lisbon wrestlers almost ran out on the mat, coach was able to get him back. So we're 6-8. Ranke with the takedown. He has choice. Ranke's going to choose bottom, and they escape. So good call there by the Oaks coaches as they're going to let Ranke up on his feet. Higher has been able to get a takedown on Ranke. So in this match, we were scoreless after the first period. We were tied up at 4 at the end of the second, tied up at 5 at the end of the third. Going into this third period of overtime, we're 8-6. Higher trying to look fresh on his feet. He's dancing around Ranke. Ranke can give up a stall call. He can just stay away, and he gets the stall here from Higher and Ranky. Ranky has the body lock. We're down to 5 seconds. Ranky can still give up the stall call. He just has to stay away. We're 9-6. Ranky up by 3. 3 seconds. 2 and 1, and that'll do it. Ranky with the win, 9-6 over Zaid Higher. So the battle 152 goes to Oaks. The battle at 160 goes to Lisbon. 9-6 win by decision. So 172 pounds. You got Eli Lyons.
Front for Oaks, Reese Klein. For Lisbon, Eli.
The Broncos looking to their senior. Here at 172 pounds, wrestling Reese Klein. Try to get or keep that momentum here for the Broncos. As we're 25-16. Lyons goes in with the takedown. So he has the 3-0 lead for Eli Lyons. Down to minute 35 remaining. 25-16 in favor of the Oaks Tornadoes. They've led the entire duel. Broncos down early. They gave up a pin at 107 pounds, a tech fall at 114, a tech fall at 121, and a pin at 127 before they answered back with a win by major decision by Noah Anderson. Here's Eli Lyons working for the fall for the Broncos. He has Reese Klein going to his back and win by fall for Lyons. The Broncos on the board again.
Winner by fall, Eli Lyons. 180.
So now we're 22-25.
For
22-25 between Patassic and Lacina. So Riley a little banged up after the football season. Good to see he made it back out on the mat. He has that shoulder brace on. Lacina doing the hard work for the Broncos this year on the football team. Had to fill in once Cruz Ranke was injured. Running the ball. So now out here, Broncos down by 3. We're at 189 pounds. So Ranke and Lacina and Jacob Patassic here at 189. Lacina had that arm, tried to isolate it, and drag it down to the mat. Patassic did a good job countering it. Lacina with the underhook. Goes back to the center of the mat. Little separation. Takes him back to the center of the mat. Patassic goes collar tie. Around the head on Lacina. Lacina takes a shot. Goes underneath. Patassic up. Trying to turn the corner with the front headlock. We'll see if Lacina can kind of drag that arm or elbow. He's able to duck out of that. Puts the forehead back into the shoulder on Patassic. They break apart. Down to 45 seconds remaining. Well, this is the first period. And now down to 30. Double collars there by Patassic. Lacina pushes back. Trying to work on the inside with the collar tie here for Lacina. Goes back on the far side with the collar. Now working a Russian tie. Patassic steps away, pushes him off. And that'll run out of time. In the first period, we're scoreless between Patassic and Lacina. Big match here. Pivotal match. Every match, big match in this duel, but this one can sway the final outcome. Just looking at the 215 and 285 pound matchups. Returning state place winner Max Klein takes on our returning state qualifier Madden Schwab at 215. And then at 285, Brady Shimanowski taking on Brock Lions. So for Lisbon to pull this win out, they're going to need a win by decision. From Lucina, and then try to go back to back at 215 and 285. As we're still scoreless, wrestlers up on their feet, trading collar ties. Snap down by Potasic. Lucina reaches across, takes a slap at the leg on Potasic. Now has the double unders locked up. You got 189. Lucina drops in. Potasic's going to try to run the corner. Has the front headlock. Tried to go ahead in the hole. Lucina doing a good job. Gets back wrist control. Stands up. Snap down there by Potasic. Lucina stands up. Pushes off Potasic. Goes back near center edge, near center of the mat. Down to 35 seconds remaining. Down to 25 seconds. Back into an underhook here for Lucina. Potasic shrugs him off, pushes away. Oh, Riley just missed, had a double leg shot, just held up on it. It was there for him. He realized it just a little bit too late, down to 5 seconds in the period. Wrestlers content here to go scoreless into the third. Potasic has choice. He's going to choose bottom. So Potasic chooses bottom. And up right away. So this one has to go to the feet off the escape within the first 2 seconds. Potasic up and away. And trading collar ties here between Lucina and Potasic. Potasic up 1-0. And just working on the inside. Now back to a collar tie. Here's Lucina. With a minute 20 remaining in the third period. Lucina goes underhook on the far side. A lot of pushing and shoving on each other. Lucina back to the underhook. Working over the top. Lucina is going to drop down high crotch. Going to try to run this one out. Edge of the mat. He's not able to get back around and lock up there. Potasic on the edge, down under a minute. Lucina's going to run out of time or run out of mat off of the nice high crotch shot. Down to 57 seconds. So we're still 1-0 lead here for Jacob Potasic. Riley Lucina with the high crotch. Not able to run it down off the single leg. Lucina goes into Potasic. Potasic back and now is able to circle back to the center. Down to 39 seconds. Oh, Lucina just missed the level change again. Down to 30 seconds here for Potasic and Lucina. And Lucina's going to drop in. Potasic catches him with the front headlock. Gets around behind Lucina. Lucina, was able to roll over Potasic. He and Potasic are going at it. Potasic rolls Lucina over. No points awarded. Lucina still has a hold of the head of Potasic. Now Potasic's going to try to cover and score the three-point takedown. So now we're 4-0. Jacob Potasic with the takedown. So 4-0 win by decision.
Winner by decision, Jacob Potasic.
So 215 pounds.
For Lisbon, Madden Schwab. For Oaks, Max.
So Max Klein coming out here, returning state place winner for the Tornadoes. Madden Schwab for the Lisbon Broncos, returning state qualifier. And both wrestlers now going to get a talking to by the official. Back to the restart with a minute 53 remaining in the first period. So 29-22. And here's the Schwab, locks up on Klein. He has him down, going to his back here for Madden Schwab, trying to do the J.J. Haygood on him. And Schwab, with the takedown, with the double unders, picks up Klein, throws him to his back. 7-0. They gave him 3, 6-0 right away with the takedown and the near fall. And the 1-point escape now for Klein. 28-22 the duel score. Oaks takes the win here. They'll win the duel. Broncos need a win by decision to have a chance. Right now, 6-1, we're in the first period. Here between Schwab and Klein. And Madden himself going through some bit of the injury bug last season, had some surgery, and was able to get back into the wrestling season last year, made it to the state tournament. Now out here, coming off a good football season, working the offensive and defensive line for the Broncos. At 215 pounds. Oaks has the 6-point lead here in the duel. I think I gave him an extra point on my score. So Klein working double under or double overs here with Schwab. And Schwab just content to wrestle the edge of the mat. Klein's going to push him out. He's going to pick up a stall. Here, Schwab really made no attempt to come back on. I almost thought he stepped on the hardwood, and that would have been a restart. So final 5 seconds. Klein's going to go into Schwab. Now Schwab circles back to the center. And that'll do it for the first period. Klein's down 6-1 to Schwab. Schwab's going to choose bottom. He's going to defer. So he defers to Klein. Klein chooses bottom. Schwab's going to go to his feet. Not going to try to ride Klein. Klein has a Peterson roll on him, so choice by Schwab to go to the feet to start things off. 6-2 within 4 now. Here's Max Klein. Schwab back in. Schwab and Klein here to go. Schwab rolls Klein through. Schwab and Klein are still rolling. Klein catches Schwab. Schwab trying to roll over the top of Klein. He has him stacked up. He's pinned. He was pinned, and oh no. We're back and forth. Schwab with the reversal and near fall. He has an armbar hooked up on Klein. Schwab and Klein entertaining a match so far here in the second period. 1:25 remaining. And Schwab's trying to pick up more near fall on the edge of the mat. Schwab up over the top on Klein. He has a bear hug on him. That's tight. And the pin for Matt Schwab. And the Broncos tie this up 28-28. Schwab for the Broncos. Just when things were looking down, coming into 2:15 after the loss by Lacina to Patassic, the Broncos were down 22-28. And now we're 28-28. And we got Brock Lyons, returning state qualifier. And Brady Shimanowski. So Lyons and Shimanowski for the Tornadoes. And the crowd on the Bronco side fired up. Good crowd on hand for the opening duel. We're tied up at 28 with 1:50 remaining. Down to 1:45 in the first period. And Shimanowski, a little trip there by Brock Lyons, takes Shimanowski down. Lyons goes with the takedown. Went to work right away on the ankle. Lyons gets Shimanowski broke down. Belly down, going to go for the crossface over the top here for Brock Lyons. Shimanowski doing a good job keeping those elbows underneath. Now Lyons just going to try to muscle that crossface. He has the screwdriver locked up. Going to try to lock this one over, bulldoze him over. He has this locked up, has Shimanowski going over. Picking up near fall. Lyons going to scoop the arm over the top. And the pin for Brock Lyons and the Broncos. And they're going to win the duel. 34-28. The come from behind victory. The Broncos had not led the entire duel. And they come from behind 34-28. That's your final. As things now settle down after the 215-pound match. A lot of fireworks, entertaining match there for Mad Schwab, picking up the win by fall over Max Klein. And then at 285 pounds, Brock Lyons with the win by fall over Brady Shimnewski seals the dual victory for the Broncos, 34-28. And that is your final score. I didn't get that 285 on there, but that is your final this evening. 34-28. As we'll step away, take a word from our sponsors. We'll come back with our Olsen
Weather and sports from your community. Look to R&J Broadcasting Incorporated, KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ Radio, and rjbroadcasting.com. Hear local voices from local radio with news and information from the area. Your information stations, KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ Radio, and rjbroadcasting.com. Local voices from local radio.
Riverside Building Center in Lisbon is the premier building supply headquarters in southeastern North Dakota. They have it from the basic home improvements to complete pre-built homes. Their staff is knowledgeable in every product they sell. With their large inventory and a fleet of 6 delivery vehicles, Riverside Building Center in Lisbon can bring the products to your job site. From a hammer all the way to a home, they have you covered. Visit rbclisbon.com today. That's rbclisbon.com. Riverside Building Center in Lisbon.
Homegrown Local Radio is now worldwide with 24-hour streaming. Download the RJ Radio app to hear local voices from local radio with KRJB, KRJM, and KKCQ 24 hours a day from anywhere. You can listen to your favorite programs like the RJ Family Morning Show, local news, farm markets, music, high school sports, church services, more from anywhere. KRJB, KRJM, and 96.7 KKCQ is streaming on the RJ Radio app. Download it to your device and take us with you wherever you go.
Wallach Johnson Insurance is your friendly neighborhood team of qualified insurance professionals celebrating over 40 years of service. As an experienced independent insurance agency, they have access to highly rated insurance companies and can shop around to find you an affordable solution for farm, crop, business, home, and auto insurance. Visit them at one of their locations in Lisbon, Winter, or Rutland and get a free quote started today. For more information, go to nd-insure.com.
All right, welcome back here, your Olsen Accounting recap. Your dual recap here from Olsen Accounting. See olsencpa.com for your Olsen Accounting recap and all your tax and accounting needs here going into the new year. As we'll start out with our dual recap. Starting at 107 pounds, it was Carter Wall with a win by fall over Ryder Booman. And that put Oaks up by a score of 6-0 at 114 pounds. Sutton Stearns for the Oaks Tornado won by tech foul over Nice Lions by a score of 16-0. And that was a 11-0 dual score after 114 pounds. 121 pounds was a win by tech foul for Ben Wagner over Micah Fromke. And that was a 16-0 score. And then at 127 pounds, it was a win by fall. Trig Dahlstrom over Milo Fitter of the Lisbon Broncos. That score at that time was 22-0. 4 unanswered wins by the Oaks Tornadoes, put them up 22-0 going into 133 pounds. And it was Noah Anderson, winner by major decision over Jaron Nelson. 22-4 was the dual score going into 139 pounds, where Gavin Robertson won by decision. 9-3 over Owen Iverson. The dual score was 22-7. Then at 145 pounds, it was Griffin Greenlee coming out in 58 seconds and wins by fall over Tucker Morodo. And the dual score 22-13 in favor of the Tornadoes. And at 152-pound, great matchup between Dahlstrom and Ryan Eng, the returning state champion. Matthias Dahlstrom taking on Ryan Eng, the two-time state place winner for the Broncos. As Dahlstrom won that by decision 4-2, bumped up the score for the Tornadoes by a score of 25-13. And then from there on out, Oaks would win one more match in the duel, but the Broncos would pick up win by decision at 160 pounds. An 8-6 decision by Cruz Ranke, or excuse me, a 9-6 decision by Cruz Ranke at 160 pounds. The dual score 25-15. Then at 172 pounds, it was Eli Lyons with the win by fall over Reese Klein. Dual score tightening up now with 25-22. Oaks would pick up a win by decision at 189. Jacob Potasic over Riley Liskina by decision by score of 4-0. Dual score 28-22, going under 215 pounds, and then entertaining match full of fireworks there between Schwab and Klein. Max Klein returning state place winner, Schwab returning state qualifier. Schwab with the big throw in the first period went up in that match. Then Max Klein came back through a headlock. He and Schwab traded positions, with Schwab eventually ending up on top with the pin in the second period, and that tied up the duel by a score of 28-28. And then Brock Lyons for the Lisbon Broncos finishes off Braden Szymanowski in the first period by a fall, and the Broncos win by a score of 34-28. And the Broncos go 1-0 in dual action in the Southeast Subregion. To start out the year, Oaks Tornadoes drop to 0-1. And we'll come back. We'll hand out our Enbridge Energy wrestler of the duel in our Agassiz Egg Precision Move of the Match. That's just ahead on yourliveevent.com.
To maintaining the condition of your vehicle. Trust the staff at Welton's Tire Service. They've served the Lisbon area since 1972, guaranteeing customers satisfaction and workmanship from farm equipment, tire services, and preventative vehicle maintenance. You'll find it all, from affordable prices, free estimates, to their knowledgeable technicians answering any question. Welton's Tire Service is locally owned and located on Main Street in Lisbon. For information, go online to weltonstire.net or call 701-683-5136.
Stay up to date all year long with your live event from our social platforms with X, Facebook, and YouTube. From the latest coaches show to watch game broadcasts back on demand from earlier in the season. Search your live event on YouTube and hit subscribe.
Outside the three-point arc. Pick and pop here with Spaeth into the left side corner. Three, good.
For the complete and most up-to-date schedule throughout the year, head to our website at yourliveevent.com.
All right, welcome back here to Lisbon High School Gymnasium as the duel this evening, your final this evening, and the Broncos over the Oaks Tornadoes by a score of 34-28. The Broncos come from behind. They hadn't led in the whole duel. They tied it up at 28 after the 215-pound match or win by fall by Matt Schwab, and then eventually Brock Lyons with the win by pin for the 34-28 duel victory. And just looking at your Agassiz Egg Precision Move of the Match, the Agassiz Egg Precision Move of the Match, that's going to go to Cruz Ranke for Agassiz Egg, your local precision planning dealer, Agassiz Precision Egg in Hillsborough. Call 701-436-2119 or visit plannerdoc.com. That's coming to Cruz Ranke with that takedown in the overtime period, the second period of overtime, as he was able to secure a takedown and then went up in that match by a score of 9-6, and eventually picks up the victory. A pivotal match for the Broncos, picking up that win by decision, as the Broncos drop that one, and then things could be a little bit different here as we closed out that duel. And then for your Enbridge Energy Wrestler of the Duel, or Enbridge Energy Wrestler of the Duel, life takes energy from Enbridge, Energy for Life, enbridge.com for your career opportunities. That is going out to Matt Schwab of the Lisbon Broncos. Madden takes down Max Klein by fall. The returning state place winner in Max Klein, the state qualifier Matt Schwab, matched up here at 215 pounds, and Schwab comes out on top to win by fall. That tied up the duel for the Broncos at 28 apiece. So Matt Schwab, congratulations. You are the Enbridge Energy Wrestler of the Duel. As we're going to close things out here from Lisbon, North Dakota. And I'd just like to thank everybody for tuning in. I'd like to thank our feature sponsors here with your Bank North Scoreboard, our Olsen Accounting Match and Duel Recap, our Stock Growers Bank broadcast booth, our Precision Agassiz Egg Precision Player of the Game, and our Enbridge Energy Player of the Match, or Wrestler of the Match. And I also like to thank all of our ad sponsors this evening for supporting our high school athletic programs with their advertising and be able to bring this broadcast to you free of charge here from Lisbon High School. As we're going to go ahead and close things out, just like to remind everybody there's wrestling this weekend. If you're looking to catch some here in Lisbon, we have the Lisbon Girls Duel Tournament. You can see the Lisbon Girls team in action right around 6 or 7 duels that they're going to wrestle this weekend. So that's taking place here in Lisbon Friday and Saturday. And then the boys team, they're in action. They traveled to the Wahpeton Dan Unruh tournament. Dan Unruh, for a number of years, was held over in the that elementary junior high school area over in Wahpeton. That's now moved back to the Bleecker Center on the North Dakota State College Science campus. So it should be a good venue to catch that. And that's only a one-day tournament now for the varsity. They'll have JV and girls that'll take place on Friday for the Dan Unruh. And then the varsity boys will wrestle on Saturday up at that Bleecker Activity Center for the Wahpeton Dan Unruh tournament. So I'd like to thank you once again for taking time out of your evening and tuning into this broadcast as the Broncos down the Oaks Tornadoes in their opening duel of the season, 34-28. We'll go ahead and sign off. We'll see everybody tomorrow for the Lisbon Girls Dual Team Tournament here on YourLiveEvent.com.
Advancements look like the latest sci-fi. One of our most powerful tools is far more simple, more human. It's a calling to connect with purpose. That's how we're evolving healthcare, by treating people, not just patients, with innovations that amplify healing and lead to more personalized care. Guided by the belief we all hold the power to heal.
Winter is coming. Are you ready? At Agassi Sales, we'll help you build the snow removal fleet you need now. With Hyundai Construction Equipment Snow Lease Program, you'll get flexible financing, low monthly rates, and even the option of 6 months on, 6 months off. Plus, every machine is backed by our certified service department. Call Agassi Sales at 888-836-4029 or visit agassisales.com. Agassi Sales, your partner for power and reliability.